before.
Baby, I just wanna be alone. I don't need your company, stop blowing up my phone. You don't get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. And you think that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. Get the things that I've been through, and I don't have the time to lay it all in front of you. that you wanna save me. You don't know it, baby, why you do this? I got this under control. You think you do, but you really don't know that I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. No, I don't need a savior. You can't be my savior. I'll save myself. I'll save myself. I stand back and I watch you explore in perfect vision, like I've been here before. Falling faster, I try to ignore. I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. This is not what I came here to find. Memories show that I'm out of time. See a shadow, don't know if it's mine, but I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. I'll let you drag me to hell if you hold my hand. Tell me this is real and it will never end. Way too many faces in the crowd, but I think that I see you. One too many days got me changing up the way that I need you. Now we're both at a bar, acting like it's not hard, trying to feel something different. Talk to somebody new, kinda wish it was you, kinda numb to the feeling. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. 24/7 to pretend it like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months and I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to.
You'll still have common days. Get caught in traffic during your commute. Overthink a text message. Get a song stuck in your head. This is not one of those days. A few weeks a year and you'll discover the most uncommon time of your life.
Welcome in, all you NECC faithful. It's time to kick it into high gear as we've got some playoffs right in front of your faces. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside one of the greatest people to ever exist on planet Earth. It is Pyro J as we get into our Forge Trials. The NECC Nationals Week 1 is underway. And of course, as we get into the Forge Trials, it's presented by the Army National Guard. So make sure to find your calling at nationalguard.com. But we've got our calling with a lot of teams tonight. A triple header of Div 6, 8, and 4 coming at you. Pyro, you joining that with me? Guess we get to go on a date of some awesome playoffs. How you feeling tonight, man?
I'm feeling fantastic. I mean, these teams put in the work in the spring semester, so it's time to gather the fruits of their labor and perform on the big stage. Show off what they're really made of. I'm excited to get in through some different divisions and ultimately get some of the best Rocket League we can ask for.
We're going to be kicking things off with Division 6, like I mentioned just a second ago, as we've got Lander. They've got their JV squad. The Bearcats coming in as the number 6 seed against the number 11 Carroll University Orange squad, the Pioneers. It's going to be Darko, Dropstick, and Hunter versus Uni, Illusion, and Landon. And both these teams put in a lot of work across all these semesters. I went and did a bit of a, stat book, wrestling. Tore up on the pages, didn't get any, paper cuts, mind you.
Okay.
And last couple of years, Lander's been looking very decent, especially these last couple of semesters. Only have lost 2 matches across this academic year. Very impressive for this most recent competition state.
You got to be impressed by that. I mean, some folks are hit or miss, hot and cold. They have a good semester and then they tail off. But to have that longevity is really impressive. And going along with that longevity, I think it's time to discuss really what we're looking out for Lander University JV team to take the win today. I want to cover some uncommon traits at Lander University. So let's take it to it. Let's talk about the first one. It is a demolition derby that I'm looking for from Lander. The most demos in their division. And as the game gets tougher and tougher to score on the best defenses, you got to create your own avenues. You got to demo them out of the way. Finally, play in concert. Okay, we got 2 musicians on the field here. Dropstick experience teaching high school marching band, and Darko actually plays 2 instruments. Those things aren't easy. I mean, in Rocket League, you gotta multitask. You gotta read the ball and comm with your teammates. Same thing playing in instruments, playing in bands, teaching marching band. These guys will be ready to go and finally act like you've been there. Okay, second round in nationals for these guys. They were here last spring. It's time for Lander to run it back and be the dominant party of nationals.
Of course, those uncommon traits are brought to you by the Army National Guard. Find your calling at nationalguard.com. But we've also got another team that's across the way. And if there's anything that a Bearcat is off to meet, especially out in the wild of competition, it's a Pioneer, as we've got Carroll University's uncommon traits on lock and online. Coming up in their strategy, it's going to be all about efficiency. This is a team, especially throughout the regular season, that got the job done early. We talk about how prolific the resume was for Lander at 8-1, 5-1, respectively, through their fall and their spring. 9-1, 6-1, and only keeping it to 11 losses both times around. In the fall, they got first by getting it done quickly. So they're breaking new ground, especially with this team that they've brought this time around. Illusion has been their consistency, but they're now switching things up with Uni being brought in to this semester. Gotta see if some of that extra foundation can be found, because spring of last year, they missed the Nationals. And the changes that were not made through that, now coming into this particular academic year, have got to prove now consistent. They went from Division 7 to 5 to 7, now to Division 6. They've gotten their way here. One way or another, it is a collision course for our Division 6 matchup tonight. It's a best of 7, and there's no second chances in this one. It is single elimination. Both these teams have got to start pretty darn quick here, Pyro.
It sounds like there's a chip on the shoulder for both of these teams to prove that they can get back to where they've been in a way and succeed this time. You know, for one team of Lander, it's returning to nationals. For the other of Carroll, it's to say, all right, Division 6, yeah, we can handle our business here. We're exactly where we're meant to be, and we'll dominate here too. So 2 teams that have good reason to have confidence to get started in this best of 7 nationals. It's all up to what happens on the pitch now, Hale.
For the Pioneers, I feel like we're going to be looking at a lot of illusion and see across the old docket for us, across the field. I feel like it's going to be somewhere into that Darko drop stick situation. There's a lot of experience, a lot of relevancy between those two, and I feel that they're going to be really pushing this envelope for trying things out. But you had mentioned Demolition Derby. That is going to be a team that will frustrate Carroll, I think, in very physical ways. I think they'll be going to enforce some of these resets of rotations. Carroll, if they end up kind of at the behest of pace, they may not be ready for it. It's game number 1. Let's get into the Nationals as we get into this first matchup.
Oh, we are more ready than ever. Game 1 underway. These players have been ready in the lobby to go, and they're off to the races. Lander in blue, Carroll in orange. And I am keeping an eye out for those demos coming out of Lander. I want to see sparks fly early on, but they might be flying on the other side. Carroll opens the scoring.
Landon, this was their first semester playing alongside the Carroll Pioneers. They'd come in after quite a rotation of separate people, and they've been looking for opportunities to strike. That one leaks in just as the rotation widens up onto that back line, so Carroll's able to find first purchase and first blood.
Gotta wrap it around my head that Landon does not play for Lander.
That's tough.
And that's gonna take some work for me, but that's all right for the players. 3 of them are in blue, 3 of them are in orange. That's all you got to pay attention to at a time like this. And for Carroll, that blue net is their target. Another shot fired off the rip. This first minute is really showing off what Carroll have on the offensive side.
Very efficient play so far. You've had a couple of shots, and both of them have been at least lethal in grace. One found its way to the back of the net. The other one was a great combination play, and they've been favoring this right side wall. A lot of heavy rotation. They even steal the opposite side corner. This is a free ball. Gotta watch out. It goes off the crossbar. Looking for yet another to add to the tally. And Pyro, they are all over the Bearcats.
smothering the blue side about everywhere other than the net. They can't get it between the uprights under the crossbar, and they've done it now. Ping pong, pinball, whatever you want to call it. It's a ricochet to the net.
Illusion saw profit and saw opportunity, so they turned right back around with their teammate, and it was Uni that ultimately fed it into a would-be defender, and they thought they'd gotten at least a piece of it, but heading center mass was Illusion. And this is no illusion. If you are a Carol fan, or you're seeing this squad really show up here in the beginning of this series.
I was going to say, you called it out. You wanted to keep an eye on Illusion to pop off. For this Carol team, it's already off the docket, but how about this? Darko looking for the rebound off the backboard. It was saved nicely by Uni, keeping the back line covered. Uni once again on defense, blocking the incoming shot, but Darko might have a lane here as Landon is turned backwards, able to get a couple touches to keep the team a bit safe in those trials.
We've not seen a lot of possession gained by Lander, but it's starting to slowly leak in. I like the dip off there from the near side post. Illusion fighting to just get around this wall, but Carol has really found some proactivity for getting these balls as well as these possesses to one another as they are dispossessing the Bearcats. A double commit from their back line. If Darko can find a connection here, that would have been very profitable. Unfortunately for them, it's left as a free opportunity for the Pioneers to really start trekking upwards, and they're very low on boost. Carroll is not at all, and it seems like they're right back to the office.
Yeah, they're wasting no time with those resources, but I love that fake from Cook, forcing the hand there of Carroll and taking care of business. But more business to be at hand. They have not exited their half. They have managed to get closer to equalizing the shots. It was 7-1, then it was 7-5. So they've started to rack up some pressure, but that's not going to be worth anything if it won't add to the scoreboard. How about a ball off the bar and a follow from Darko? Still not enough.
Talk about a little bit of illusion. Well, Uni has been everywhere. That has been a very, very helpful tool in the old three-piece right now for Carroll to stay consistent. Already upfield as well as Landon wants to try and trickle this one just around from the perimeter, but we're approaching that 80-second mark, and it's only a couple of goals. So some say winnable. I say that we've seen a lot more of Carroll going forward than they've been in retreat. Lander's got to show me some life here late term, if maybe they're going to be prompting up a steal. Uni sets it up over to drop stick. That's a free shot, but it's picked up again by Illusion.
And that's a demo that we expected, but unfortunately there were more layers to Carroll. Barely any layers left, but unfortunately for Lander, they don't secure that goal either. A couple opportunities for this squad, but it has been a devastating journey to get to the back of the net. This is going to be another try, though, by Dropstick. Takes the flick past one. It's a save, though, from Landon. Shot coming in from Cook off the backboard. No, it's straight in off the top corner.
Barely off pace. Landon had this touch right here. Nice little give and go from the low 45. But look at Cook. He actually comes off of the speed that he had against that ball. If he had tried to take a solid flip forward just to shoot it, you would have had a defender at center mass. Instead, he basically sand wedges it for all my golfers out there. Nice high arc. But with a half minute to go, is that going to be enough time?
Well, they nearly had a passing play to equalize, but instead, the assister in that play got demoed. So it seems like Carroll ready to give Lander a taste of their own medicine as we get to the final few seconds of this game. Still trudging forward, our Lander. They just need one shot. Landon, long clear. It's Darko with full boost. A pass. Cook headed towards the corner, but no boost to fuel them. Drop stick, no shot at the end. And a dead ball will call the end of this game as Uni will find the ground. Carroll take game one.
This game was won within the first couple of minutes off of those two goals. Nothing really had to be added by the Pioneers, but it was a defense that started really coming alive, especially as Uni and company were able to defend the backline very well. Of the 7 saves from the Pioneers, Uni found more than half of those. And Cook Didn't even get to talk about them, but they have been here just as long as Darko for the last couple of years over on the side of Landers. So I want to see if that becomes a consistency that they find upfield. So a little bit of a turn of the page, more of the demolitions, more of that ended up happening. And I feel like it was just a very slow grind for the eventual opportunities to manifest for Lander, because they got the one, but they barely had time to really work with the possessions they got.
I think it's going to be a long series that is in favor for Lander. It was clear they needed time to settle into this game as Carroll opened up the scoring and did just about everything they needed to control the pace of the game. Then you look at the final minute or so, and the shots tallied for Lander to have more than Carroll by the end of that one. So this team's finally getting the pressure and the possession that they're looking for. They just got to close on some of these chances, and ultimately, Hail Monkey Man, stop Uni. As Uni had been a beast on the back line.
Uni is a demon by all accounts. Let's see if they'll be able to stop him, because it's so much easier said than done. Huge one between the uprights. Nobody's home. Darko sends that one far and wide.
That is the risk of going for plays like that. Uni had the double tap off the corner, but it just goes amiss. And so it leaves a wide open gap to score from. Big play for the first lead of this series now for Lander.
Kind of hope that one of the two instruments that Darko plays is a trombone, so just when you take that shot, you go...
That was an incredible impression.
Thank you. I played the trombone for 7 years.
Wow.
Maybe a little favoritism. Oh!
What?
Oh! Okay. Defense showing anew.
I think the post has some favoritism. How are they not getting the friendly roll on that one? I couldn't tell you. Lander just about have to pray for a second goal here, as it doesn't look like the arena wants to do them any work themselves. Tough one, but I'm sure they'll get more chances.
Old fourth man showing up here, at least for the side of Carroll when they need him the most. Their defense has been pretty impressive, but so say I, as this one goes flying by. Darko with a solid challenge, and then unfortunately, as they tried to get clever with a redirect tap over to the corner, they caught a man in transition, and that turned into a pass.
And that's great heads-up play from Darko, finding themselves under the ball and saying, well, I've got this pass. Funny enough, I think he was teeing it up for himself. It just so happened that a teammate was there ready to score, but some things just work out that way. And Game 2 is working out for Lander so far.
Eerily similar in some ways, equal but opposite, as Carroll had that 2-0 to kick things off, but it felt like it was much more in composite about solid passing plays. Now it's all about these challenges from out of Lander. And, you know, we talked about the demos, talked about the physicality. Well, even if you don't end up having all that, being out-challenged often means that you just can't move forward onto this pitch to start creating some of this offense. And they've really supplanted the Pioneers on their own back line, and it has been reset after reset as to who's coming off the spawning bench.
Oh, I love this downfield play. It's a whip-in shot, and the rebound's there for Uni. The star defender turns to striker for their first.
Fantastic find. Uni was just ready at the middle of the box, knowing that that one was going to come out speedy. So jump up center, wait for the backboard, and the poor defender, they'd actually landed in a solid spot, but they went sideways, interior of the wall. So we go 2-1 to match our entire game 1 ending of the scoreboard, but there's still plenty of time. And I'm feeling with the way that these two are really meeting out onto the pitch that we're going to get plenty more.
It's a product of these players being able to settle in. I feel like Carroll's offense was activated. They were missing some of the accuracy, but finally Lander has the confidence to push forward with the scoring that they know they're capable of. They need some defense as well, though, and they'll get that with the backboard pressure. Cook with a touch out to mid. Darko might not have the boost required to beat Illusion. Now you see the tipper right to Landon, right back in their face to tie it up.
Illusion was tracking the last man up as Darko the entire time. I've been looking for that rivalry to begin to brew, and it was definitely boiling as they knew that there was a prompted pass being pushed up to at least drop it into their back third. Illusion on the money was able to stop it, and that allowed that next shot to come forward. So 2-1 wave for the Bearcats. To the other direction for the Pioneers, making a third. No, the defense will cluster up on the near side post, but this is anything but safe.
His teams are saying it's going to take a little bit extra to get the lead at this point. Both teams have worked very hard for their 2 goals, and it's going to have to be extra effort for the third. How's that for a little bit extra on the 50 out of Illusion?
Illusion waiting patiently against Darko as they got it just underneath them. A solid 1v1. When your nose is facing your own net, you're in the weakest state that your car could be positioned in, but they had no other choice. So just waiting to see which way the ball would go, aimed to take it underneath, and suddenly it's a 3-goal run here for the side of the Pioneers.
Another opportunity here. Great header into the uni pass, but it is going to be the Lander defense, there it is, that will have it better. Center ball, Uni. That's going to be a lob to the net. Dropstick has the save. Now setting up here is Carroll with extended possession, but that really hasn't been the theme of this game so far, so it's no surprise to see it kick the other way. And now you do have Lander with a chance. Cook cuts off the rotation for a touch out. But it does feel like Lander running on fumes.
That's an open back line if they can cut off some of these more aggressive rotations from out of Carroll. If is a very strong word. A third man's coming in. There's no one between the uprights, and this is gonna be at least Landon now profiting from being demoed by Lander, turning one of their greatest strengths into a huge enemy. Gotta watch out, and an unforced error. That's tough if you're Lander.
Oh, it is. Rocket League's all about avoiding these awkward situations, because as soon as you're in it, it can turn dark quickly. Right away, we've got a 2-goal lead, just like that. 50 seconds to go. We have seen Lander cook in this last minute. They certainly need to now.
Oh my goodness. Pinning it to their fender like that thing was covered in Gorilla Tape. Look at this turn of the post. Well, you see the majority of it, and they just kept it underneath. It's not a bad defensive position. It's unfortunate because it is structured off of the immediate kickoff, and you go about center mass to that wall. Well, they let it settle, and they let it ride.
And we might just let it ride into game number 3 as picking apart the defense now is Carroll. Are they going for a 6? That seems to be the case. Illusion brings in the haymaker.
Illusion absolutely is a one's main. Tell me otherwise. Look at that. Slamming dropstick into the back of the box. Letting them know, hey, here's a new move to show your students for your next marching band competition. And it's called the overroll.
Gave him the boot there. I love it. It's thinking about the Rumble items. 1v1 Rumble. Well, it can all be translated into this 3v3 Nationals matchup here for Division 6 NECC. Carroll University. Run away, drive away, speed away, what have you in this game number 2 to dominate and get them halfway through the week's 1 game.
Round 1 can be very difficult for a lot of squads, and game number 1 was very tight, very close. And if we look at the scoreboard, shots are dead even. The defense was doubled up to the Carroll side, and often when we speak of that, Pyro, usually that means that the offensive output or attempts are greater on the other side. But for this one, it was efficiency. I had made note of that with Carroll at the beginning of this, and sometimes I love it when I guess my way through life. But for that one in particular, they definitely are finding some efficient run-ups. They had let the first couple go. It was Lander using that very ambitious and aggressive style of just going onto the pitch, challenging every single possession, and they got exhausted. Because after those first couple of minutes, it was all Carroll, and they were just possessing it in ways that Lander wasn't able to really digest at all.
Yeah, the boost efficiency is not favoring Lander whatsoever. So I agree, there's a certain efficiency that Carroll have an advantage in this game, and they've got to learn how to keep those resources with them on defense, because these rebounds, these counterattacks, even these air dribble pumps out of Carroll are going to sweep you away if you don't have fuel against it.
Very efficient, but also very creative. Something about Carroll has really changed up. They were showing flashes of it in the middle of, or in the beginning of game number 1, and then Lander started getting quick. As soon as they had all of their corners stolen from them, and as soon as this one kind of devolved into a lot of isolated one-touch offenses, and especially some one-on-ones, well, Carroll started profiting. Not like they haven't been passing to one another, but look at the communication. They're able to spread some of this back zone and make it look easy to escape.
Taking your role on defense is a great start to turn it around for a shot. This is full boost for Uni. Maybe had the double tap set up. Illusion maybe has the shot. But the fuel and the stopping power so far for Lander has been enough. Pin it down, no scoring. Probably good news if you're a Lander fan. It's drop stick. It's the setup here for Darko. He takes his time with the control, takes that low 50 and hands off to Cook. He's going for the bump, maybe the demo. Can't get it. Landon had eyes in the back of his head, wouldn't allow it. Set up now from drop stick. Cook off the backboard. That one's taken away.
It's been a minute and a half of straight possession and disruption and more. Illusion will put it away, but it's Landon that won it from the corner. They were already vying to cycle in. They get rid of Darko, and look at the bump as they get rid of Cook as well.
See, we knew that Lander had the most demos in their division, but did we count just straight up collisions and bumps? Because right now, the physical play seems to be dominated, at least in a more timely fashion, from Carroll University. But you love to see these two teams go head to head in that way.
So far, very good. Oh, and then very tricky idea to put it off your own near side post and wall, where basically you're taking a quote-unquote bad shot against your own net. That was gutsy. So good looks by Lander, still trying to take this game for what it is. It's one of the most important games in every series, be it best of 5 or 7. Game number 3. We're either gonna have match point, we're gonna be seeing this one become a split series. And so far, Carroll has not really let Lander into the game, as they consistently are finding each of these touches.
And it will be Illusion to take this one back. There was an illusion of choice that they had time to really handle that ball. That was just not the case, as it has been the speedy challenges of Lander to contend against plays like that. Drop stick, speed racer to the net. Illusion with the save. They've gotten answers so far for everything that Lander have put up.
Cook out thinking himself. They've been hyper-cycling this right side corner, forcing Carroll to have to keep basically Groundhog Daying their way around that post. And eventually they bomb out a clear. So good looks by Carroll for just ultra surviving through what was Lander eventualities, maybe breaking through a wall. We'll come right back down the pitch. This one again has to be boomed out. Now, the one thing I don't like about that, Carroll's been decent about chasing their touches, and so they've not let these one go loosely. However, it does feel like eventually Lander could benefit from some of these booming away rainbows. Now they get another demo. Finally getting their strength back together. They have a defender downfield. Couldn't quite get the flick. Darko was hoping for something fancy.
This whole team here for Lander was hoping for a speedier counterattack. One good counter with that leading demo is really all this team needs. It's what they're gunning for. It's maybe what they'll get. No, Landon escapes the chase from Cook and gets the save. Illusion is bumped out of a counterattack goal. These teams are fighting to the brink.
If there is going to be a tying goal by Lander, it is going to be right now. Cook with the setup. He was hoping to get it right then and there. It went just a little too high. Now with only 40 seconds left, we're going to stretch up this defense vertically. Carroll doesn't have a lot of resources. Cook is hoping to hand it off over to Darko. Darko ends up outswinging himself as he goes more interior, couldn't quite change up his lane. Wants to aim for that wall, maybe have themselves a shot dead center, but that's exactly where Uni and company will collide as we go to 20 seconds left.
Yeah, it's not the cleanest at the end of the game right now for Carroll, but so far, it's enough. 14 seconds and Uni has to give the ball up to Landon. It's now Illusion. They don't need to go for the goal. They just play the dead clock. Cook right back up to Landon. There's no escape right now for Lander as the last touch heads towards their net. Cook with the high touch, kept up by Dropstick. This is Uni looking for the kill shot, and the demo could have sealed it, but it hits off the ramp, and now Cook is looking for Dropstick. Darko keeps it alive, and finally we hit the ground after it looked like there was some hope after all.
It was a bit too season 5 there, if you will. We were going from one low corner to another. Unfortunately for the Bearcats, that one didn't quite have all the magic of being able to pop up to the other side of the pitch. For Carroll, a bit of a test. Only 1-0. Felt like that they were forcing it into the back corner zones against Lander more often, and then stealing out not just a true possession, couldn't gather it cleanly, but also were taking away their back corner boost. Every time, even in that 0-second play there, Pyro, they were just like, all right, the perimeter, if you want this wall, you're not going to have anything to work with. All the big boosts are gone. And now you have no other chances if you are Lander. You've got to win every single game here on out.
Yeah, it's like good luck grabbing the pads and the pennies because that's all we're leaving. It's funny how much we harp on boost, but it really does decide everything in close matches like these when they're commanded by these quick counterattacks where you need the fuel to get back or for the aerial shot. The good news for Lander, despite being down 0-3, is that this wasn't a 6-2 loss. This was a 1-0 game where they were fighting to the very last second. They've got the tools to keep Carroll on a low-scoring effort. Can they counter it with some goals of their own?
You finish the job, or do you leave it to linger? Procrastination is often the beast that has to be conquered by many a solid worker. And for Carroll, they have not exactly procrastinated through these games to at least score. They've gotten one per at minimum. Lander University has struggled after the first couple of minutes at times. First 30 seconds, Carroll is at least going to receive the initial rotation up from Lander. Nice little takeaway. They can't just leave these one-offs here, especially with Landon dropping behind this one.
Well, this is how you land on it, ain't it? What a play here. Positions their car so the top is facing the ball. You get some good power on it for the double tap. And that's a lane you don't want to give up. 1-0 Carroll.
This is a team that has twice seen Division 7, has had a lot of progress to go upwards and continues to experiment on their pathway and adventure as they pioneer through so much of the NECC. Now in Division 6, they have definitely showcased a lot of things that are going from free play and otherwise. Cook, though, does not want to be left behind, and we finally see ourselves tied after zeros.
You had the demo, you had the pass, and you had the power shot. The 1, 2, 3. That's a magic combo right now for Lander, who are trying to get their play style underneath them. Finally, they have some building blocks to work with.
I mean, I feel like we can agree that it has definitely been dissection by Carroll to just dismay Lander. They have not allowed them to play any way that they want to. Their defense and rather their aggression has been their death knell, and Illusion and company continue to throw strikes that they just can't stop.
Yeah, listen, there's going to be some plays that if Lander look back at this series, they're going to say were avoidable, right? That touch off the backboard, it's just not one where you can control it thereafter. And a Carroll team that's been taking advantage of any mistake is not going to let that one lie.
Look, he's going to try and set up another one. Able to get that first score for Lander and to keep it frosty at 1-1 in a minute. But Carroll University, they're going to start locking in. This is going to become so much tighter. And look how they're just stealing. Thieves in the night. A rogues gallery of boosts just gone. A third goal, as that one again goes up from around the perimeter. Cook has had this one taken away. A nice tire touch by Landon. And look how all the Bearcats have to cluster up.
Another shot, making a pass, nearly there. Drop stick takes care of business, but Carroll will just not let them breathe. This is suffocating pressure, and at a certain point, it'll get to you.
Sometimes the metal bows, and sometimes it snaps. Uni just waiting for an opportunity, and it felt like Lander, as they rotated into their near side post, became lost as to who was supposed to come up next, where that next touch was supposed to be, and Carroll is creating the chaos that cannot be read by the Bearcats.
Will it become too much, or will there be relief, rejuvenation for Darko and Lander?
This is a Bearcat squad that has profited off of a couple of long bomb scores that Carroll's left the back door open for. If there's one thing that needs to be improved at minimum by Carroll going into later rounds, if they were to make it here through round number 1, is that they definitely get very ambitious, creative, but that same aggression that comes out in the form of demos from Lander is now a bit of arrogance that ends up being punished on the other side. We're at the midway mark of game number 4. And Lander again is under fire by the Pioneers.
And I think if I'm Carroll University, I'm still willing to be bold on my possessions, despite getting burned on some of them. Maybe this is one too many, though. As ball reaches the other side of the field, Landon, I think, went for some kind of psycho touch, like a double off their own backboard, but that's just too risky of a play.
Yeah, they thought there was just enough time for them to attempt doing that with their teammate rotating behind them, but there was just too wide of a gap. So again, they have the leniency, and wow, now they don't. Now it's a turn of the lead as Darko puts the Bearcats up by 1.
And I'm not sure when Darko scored without a shot registered, but they have 150% shooting percentage right now. The hat trick with 2 shots. Lander in the lead.
Hey, that would increase the GPA by a hefty sum, I would have to say. 2 minutes. As Carroll now realizes that they got to put in a bit of extra work to get beaten by Lander. Lander does not want to go out early. They've gone deep into Nationals before. These Forest trials are definitely heating up for them. Trying to make the 1-2 combination. Illusion's just going to put as a party hat, and he's got a big demo by Landon, and we go right back to even.
This is such an underrated skill from Illusion. Actually slows the play down so that the demo leader can catch up to the play. The only way that happens is good comms. Love the chat between the Carroll players there.
Knew that he could get a flick, knew that they could do that 1-2 passing, just kind of midfield left to right, but also realized, you know what? Let's just chill. Let's hang out for a second, and you go up there and you go demo them. Please make it happen. Did so. 100 seconds remaining. For all that effort, we are still basically as if it were just zeros all over again. Carroll University priming themselves and again stealing so much of the perimeter. There is very low boost, basically nothing here for the side of the Bearcats. Illusion's already popped up. Backboard, who's there to defend it? Nobody! Big save though! Darko comes up just enough.
That is the second save that Darko has made on nothing. That is otherworldly positioning and reading capability coming out of Darko. I'm not sure that they could save his team now, though, because he's the last to rotate back, and he's still the one without any boost, trying to make their way, and at a certain point, there's just not enough he can do.
Just like when you get exhausted in a fist fight, eventually you'll run out of gas. What a tight combination between Landon and Illusion. All over the ball, not allowing any kind of exit path to exist. Carroll will take this lead back. Lander, less than a minute to stay in competition and remain in round 1. Otherwise, they'll be seeing their entire semester come to a close.
Oh, we've watched so much from Lander. We know that they're not done yet. And that's the case. Darko forces the hand of two defenders as Dropstick puts it down.
That is the crux of having complete reactive ball. You have Landon and Illusion. They play like that up the pitch, seeing whatever happens, happens. Defensively, it's got to be a little bit more structured. 10 goals acquired between both these squads. Lander trying to force at least a game number 5. Carroll's been able to take these matches when they get to these moments. They just have to finish the job. 20 seconds approaching. Uni hoping for a pass. They fake it out. Dropstick now looking for an outlet over to Darko.
The light tap there as Landon goes for at least a touch on the ball. I think both teams want to score before regulation even ends. As Darko can't beat out Illusion. Has a path to the net. There's the shot and the save from Cook. Gets the header to secure OT.
The amount of finesse that you needed to be able to get that save underneath the ball when it was a guaranteed drop into the net is outrageous. Ceiling drop, Darko leaving it to one of his teammates to try and get this shot. Dropstick's gonna wait on this back corner. He actually ends up getting demoed. This one's on target, but will drop very slowly over to Illusion's open hands.
Season on the line for Lander. You can only imagine the nerves for these players knowing it's golden goal. One shot could be the end for them. They've got to play their best here. As Cook, he gets a touch up, but it's not to a teammate. It's not to themselves, and they're on the wrong side of the near ball rotation. Illusion's going to go for the shot. It's taken away by Cook. They're at least able to play the ball, but now they've got to rely on teammates as Darko looks for a path out.
They were 8-balling their opponent rather, as that one nearly turned into a heartbreaker against Lander. Now trying for the drop, can't get there. Uni has to fake out having boost. There's not a lot. In fact, there's basically zeros. Looking for a kill shot is Lander to try and force us with 5 each to a game 5. This is a big bomb and clear. Uni from the sidewall. He's got a follow-up shot, and it's Landon. They put it to bed as Carroll will put Lander to rest.
Round 1 has been won by Carroll University. 4-0 sweep. And right before that goal, Lander, they had their chance. Carroll were running on fumes. No one with boost, no one in the path of the ball. But I think Lander were playing a little too safe. Ended up getting Carroll the time to fuel back up and send in that last goal.
Wild stuff. I mean, got to give a lot of love to Lander. They kind of lived by the sword, died by the sword, and Darko, for the 2 years at minimum they've been playing with this program, definitely put it all on the line. Just felt like it kind of came alive a little bit too late. But for Carroll, this is a squad that they had missed the Nationals in the previous spring after trading up divisions. They were still looking for a home. I feel like Division 6, I mean, they may be seeing themselves go back up to Division 5, but that upgrade still finding a reason why, and it's because this team absolutely has confidence in the way they play. So tricky, so cheeky, so clever. But, I mean, got to give them the love for both ends. 11 goals in a final game is a heck of a way to go out.
It really is. Listen, even that 6-2 win, going from that to a 1-0 win between games 2 and 3, shows that this team has the capability to win any style of game. Sometimes you need to burn out your opponents by controlling the pace. Other times you take advantage of the shootout in front of you. Carroll definitely came to play today, and they proved that efficiency, hell, Monkey Man, that you were asking for.
And they're going to be facing off into the winner between Bismarck State College and Lebanon Valley College. So we'll get to find out how that one goes for the rest of Division 6 later on. But we've got Division 8 coming up. At least 2 matches, Division 8 and Division 4 at the end of the night. And this is a tale between 2 squads that are playing in their first academic competition year with NECC. So it's going to be really cool. You guys will not want to miss it. It's going to be the Fanshot Esports Rising Club versus the side of Missouri Valley College Purple. Don't miss out on this one. More of the NECC Nationals and, of course, these Forge Trials. Be back with you in just a little bit.
Forge Trials is presented by the Army National Guard.
wish we stayed the same. I got way too many thoughts in my brain. I got memories that run through my veins. I'm not one to blame, but I could point out every way that you changed. Some things stay up while others go right down the drain. And lately we've been going down in flames. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm my therapist is saying that I should. I don't believe her, but I really wish I could. Instead, I guess I'll stay misunderstood. Oh, 'cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out. I've tried but can't seem to slow down. I don't know if I want to. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in nirvana. But if I'm can't seem to slow down, and I don't know if I want to.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the light of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me. All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Follow
Welcome back, everyone, to the NECC. It's Nationals Forge Trials time. I'm still Hell Monkey Man alongside, of course, Pyro J. As we get into our second match of the night, it's Division 8. It's going to be the Fanshawe Esports Rising, the Fuel, going against Missouri Valley College's JV squad, Purple. So the Vikings coming at you live and loud. Both these teams have been very, very good across this entire academic year, as we've got profit that actually comes from the academy side, and we'll be able to talk about that a little bit more with Sniper McGee and Spazzy on the side of the Fuel. They'll be going against the Vikings of Skibbs, Beto, and Axeron. A lot of creativity and a lot of, because these are the most junior squads for both these sides, Pyro, a lot of trading up and down to see what kind of experience they can get.
That's totally true. These teams, and especially in Division 8, you never know what you're going to get with these teams, but we've got some unique squads, and I'm so happy we get to do it here on the mainstream for Nationals, because we've committed this year to showing all levels of competency in NECC, and they're all worth showcasing. So let's get started talking a little bit more about Fuel. I've got 3 uncommon traits for this team that I believe will propel them to victory. Going along with what we talked about there, program depth is the first trait I want to discuss. The fact that these teams, these players have come from different parts of the program, from the academy roster to the main roster. They've got what it takes to bring all their talent together and head on towards the win. Second is kick control. Fun fact that we got is that Spazzy, a little better on the soccer than the Rocket League, or at least so he says. And those are transferable skills, okay, Spazzy? I'm looking for the ground plays. I'm looking for the crosses. I want to see some good soccer skills in the soccer. And finally, grind them down. A lot of close matches. Lot of close matches for Fuel in their history. I'm seeing 4-2s everywhere, 4-3s all the way to game 7. We're thinking that if Fuel's going to take this win, it would happen in game 6, no less.
Feels like they got to be able to take this and make it a longer series, because across the pitch from them are the Vikings. And we talk about splitting the difference. This team has done it a lot as they move over into Division 8. But let's kick it up once and maybe twice, maybe 7 times up to 11 as we pump up the volume. This team in the fall averaged first, and then in the spring averaged second for the most shots on net. If they're going to do something big, they're going to be winning by volume, a ton of offense. Even if it doesn't go in, pins a ton of defenders back and really starts your offense to be able to rotate downfield. That is something that they could really utilize, especially in what I call the rookie rundown. This squad in particular has Axeron and Skibbs on it, who originally played alongside Squirrel and Levans, who was over on their D5 team in the fall. Now both of them went over to D8 while Squirrel and Levans play in D3. They know how to experience higher level play. Now they're bringing Beto and Storm Dweller into the mix. Feels like there's a lot to have to deal with on the side of the Fuel to have to experience what Missouri Valley College has already done. And a little bit of shortened Spanish. Apparently your boy Skibbs is 4'11". Talk about a different POV with life and being able to really see the sky for what it is. And from Axeron, my man's from Spain. So got that EU connection. What can he bring across the pond maybe as an X factor for this one? And of course, these uncommon traits are brought to you by the Army National Guard. So make sure to find your calling at nationalguard.com, especially across all the Forge Trials. As we're going to be going into this matchup, there's got to be some love found on this side of Fuel. That program depth you talked about, they've got to make sure that experience comes up, because I feel like Missouri Valley is going to try and make this a quick 4-0.
Agreed completely. You've got a lot of different skill sets from tons of different programs and divisions coming just into this Division 8 matchup. So there's so many factors colliding with each other that we just got to see how it goes on the field. We just got to see how they put it into action. 2 teams, only one winner continues into Nationals as we're getting this best of 7 started.
Go up into game number 1. Fuel all the way out from London, Ontario. And then our other squad from Missouri Valley College out in Marshall, Missouri. I think that's our greatest distance for regions-wise for these opponents in this East versus West Division 8 matchup of round number 1. Everything's single elim for everything that you're seeing tonight. So though it's BO7, it definitely is only one life left to live. And this first 40-second integer just moving with us as it feels like MVC has been caught under the downhill run of the Fuel.
Yeah, talk about NBC looking for a clean sweep. They're going to be looking for more time on the ball. It feels like they're being outrun here, and they were nearly outpaced to a goal. Profit is teeing up some great chances for his team. Spazzy had the look that was saved by Beto, and that next shot, or sequence of shots, were too high. So great sequence, really, for Fuel. You know, they're getting the shots registered for sure, but a little more punch required to get a point.
Profit was on the Fuel Academy squad just the previous semester, so they've been playing upwards, and they kind of trade in and out for the betterment of the overall Fuel program. So to see them kind of come over and really help propel this group through this semester has been something special. And it looks like that's for the greater interim of this first minute and a half or so, they may be finding some profit as well. MVC Purple is at least denied Fuel Esports Rising from getting across their goal line. The problem is we haven't seen a lot of offense to occur, so Vikings kind of still left to just be on back, see if a mistake is made, and trade out some possession. This one has just been going on the arches.
It has, and sometimes you play too much corner ball. You're not able to get it between the uprights. Right now, MVC hoping to get still their first shot of the game. Gonna be a struggle when the ball is in front of your net. Through the demolition smoke, Fuel unable to capitalize on that look.
Sniper McGee hoping to combine with Profit and make that one an expeditious shot. Can't quite get there. And this game is very sneakily and swiftly just sliding on by. We're already halfway gone from it. Spazzy with yet another threat. We talk about kick control, and for them, they're just trying to slam one home. Spazzy now ends up with another as Profit throws it out to the perimeter, and we've played a lot of corner ball. Tons of this just trying to work from the outside shelves, and MVC Purple is biding their time from their own back line.
You mentioned it's sneaky, the way that we've already got through more than halfway of this game. I feel like we're in for a sneaky ending to it as well. MVC doesn't have a shot yet, but it feels like that's going to be the last shot of the game, is when it does arrive, it's going to be that punch that Fuel just aren't ready for.
You know, for a team that had the most shots on target for the previous couple of semesters and not having one as of yet, that's got to scream to the challenge game that the Fuel decided that will be part of their identity, part of their DNA for this series. Don't let the volume go up any higher. It's more like a library with the way that we're whispering in the offense. 80 seconds approaching. This one goes out, but every time you bomb it outwards, you're basically giving up yet another possess.
Yeah, nothing you want to give up to two players who are trying to find each other on the field. Spazzy wanted to pick up that ball, but instead they're on the other side, and here come MVC to swing. Aerial is a miss. Beto had the look. We'll have to try again on the other side. This one at the half-court line. Center field ball pick up by Axeron. Profit clears away. Beto with the boost, but denied a chance on the ball. Profit isn't going to let anyone mosey around the field.
Profit was cycling the center circle of the pitch, looking for at least the first touch offensively, and the next one became a defensive demo. Now, it's all about Beto. See if they can at least put something threatening. Axeron is calling off their teammate. They don't have any boost, but that was more so to let the man that does have something in the tank go back to defense. Skibbs gets deleted. Can they get through the smoke screen? Axeron with a blind backflip. And now it's a pass over to Sniper McGee that's going to go towards Profit. If this net was a little taller on either side of the pitch, we might have been seeing our first goal. Instead, overtime might be looming.
Got to remind the players that scoring isn't optional. You do have to do it if you want to win the game. But in this one, it'll have to be done in overtime. You got to think, for Fuel, they feel like they deserve it. They've had so many chances to put one through. All it takes is one golden opportunity.
Lots of quick pinches have occurred both between opponents and teammates to try and make these shots go to the back of the net. This is going to go over the head of one. Spazzy looking for it, and this is again going to be a last bit of thievery. Axeron will find it, and you said that you thought it'd be sneaky. Well, this one snuck over the heads of everybody.
One shot, one goal, one win for MVC Purple. Sneaky indeed. But this team apparently ready to play any way they need to. 8 saves in that game.
Goodness
To
gracious.
look at this match, and you think as well for Fuel. You mentioned it. That crossbar a little taller. Those posts a little wider. We have a different game.
You know what? Everything that's usually left behind in a game number 1 of a best of 7, you say, all right, it's those that are ready first. Got to knock off a little rust. That game felt like, I mean, you had mentioned a couple times, that Fuel should have been able to take it. There was a few wayward opportunities that were also prompted up by Missouri Valley, but everything was looking like Fanshawe a majority of the time. You got that one high-arcing bomb in 22 seconds of overtime and just right over the head. Poor Prophet also. Love him to death. He let it go to Spazzy, and he was like, he's got it.
I loved Prophet's play during that game as well. I was waiting to see the extermination notification at the top right-hand side of the screen because he was all over the place on those demolitions. I think had 3 in the last minute. Oh, there it is. It took more than 5 minutes for no goals out of Fuel this time. Just 11 seconds.
A bit of an over-rotation off kickoff. 11 seconds is still early times from just after setting the ball at the mid-crosshair. And Fuel is able to capitalize. So good looks by Fanshawe. They let that game get by them. Now I feel like we're going to see a lot more of this as Spazzy gets credit for another one.
Uh-oh, we're off to the races, and MVC is getting left behind. These high balls are clearly a weakness for the defenses of both teams, as it looks like Fuel ready to bring back the poison the other way.
Talk about looking upwards. You know, a bit of a squint. Shout out to 411 Skibs out there. Being able to just kind of see that entire depth. Prophet finds another one. This is everything that was left behind, Pyro. Well, how many shots was it? Like 11?
Thereabouts. Yeah. And here they are once again, but this time converting goals. It feels like sometimes you need to get some shots out of the way to start hitting the swishes. And we're seeing nothing but net now.
30 seconds in, and infinity more percent than what Fuel Esports Rising had before. Bomb out a clear from the side of Missouri Valley College, and the Vikings got to find themselves with the hands on the rock with a little bit more purpose more often. Unfortunately for them, they can't get there. That's going to be Spazzy that's blocked by their own teammate. Axeron might be getting some assistance from Skibs, but it ends up being Beto that fills the gap to the backboard. Looking for a double tap. It looked pretty, just couldn't quite get behind it.
Ball sent the other way. Skibs wants to set up their own chance. Starts out as a lovely air dribble, and there is the dunk. So pretty good restart on the offense for MVC, but does look like Spazzy's going to have the better of this one. High touch into the follow from the sidewall. Shot's going to be on target, and shot's going to be in. Barely a minute over into this game. That's a hat trick for Spazzy.
Spazzy's showing that they can do it off of some long arcs and then straight up just daring Skibs to stay still. You saw the side flip, and he was like, he's not going to shoot it, right? He's going to pass it from there. Nah, look at that bullet right by him, interior post line. So far, fantastic for Fuel, and hoping to respond here.
See if they can do that. Hard touch the other way. Across the width of the field. Prophet's going to nail this one up to the ceiling. Axeron does get around this one. Nearly the second touch off the backboard. I am looking at Axeron on those half-court plays to maybe convert some of that style that we saw in overtime. Instead, it's just going to be the drop-down pickup from Skibs.
Skibs finally getting a connection beyond defenders that they just can't read. Spazzy lets one go, and that's really been the only 2 times that Fuel have been scored on, when something just kind of is let loose to just go to the near side. And so MVC, if Fuel can do it, you can do it. There's a lot of time left on this clock. Oh, unfortunately for Axeron, that one is just a connection too far.
Well, look at that pass, Skibbs. Looking like a money-making machine out there. Perfect idea. How about another one? If they can't be the sender, they'll be the receiver.
Every single opportunity by Missouri Valley College has been 50% of the way done. The second half of it was the man making a connection, and that one, too, was undefended based on possession. They allowed a lot of space for that to develop, so they've cut this lead in half, and just before we hit half.
Yeah, there is still plenty of this game left, and that's exactly what MVC are out here to prove. 2 goals brings them halfway to getting to the marks of Fuel, and Skibbs has been behind it all. They'll be behind yet another. What a run for MVC.
You know, I've been playing a lot of a pirate game recently, and I feel like all the wind has shifted and really blowing up big sails. I don't know. Well, no, actually, I do know. Vikings were big sailors back in the day. How dare I begin to discount them just because these are over towards like the Wisconsin side. But, you know, looking at what we've got right now, MVC, it was 4-0, believe it or not. And they've narrowed it down to just 1 goal, and Fuel has disappeared. Their light is low.
And the wind can be a powerful tool. I was playing some disc golf today, and I'll
Nice.
tell you what, that can direct a lot. It does seem like it is a tailwind at this time for MVC, but that is over the course of just a few minutes that we have changed the pace of this game. Looks to be the same case had it not been for the saving grace of Prophet.
Axeron, a bit of an overcommit. They didn't expect their teammate to turn on it, and now they end up in a traffic-bound connection with Spazzy. And Spazzy has been the key outlier for getting beyond MVC early and often. So with Spazzy now kind of going quiet, Vikings are finding themselves upfield early and often. Nice midfield connection. Prophet with a demo onto Beto, and that's as free as can be. Unfortunately, open nets are a bit scary.
Hey, listen, for Sniper, they needed the half-court open net. That short-range shot isn't good for the Sniper, so it seems, as they still have the lead to go with in a demo, too. Sniper McGee back around, gets the pass. What a lovely touch, and barreling in was Spazzy. He wanted that one.
Demos everywhere. Not a moment to think as Fuel has decided, all right, deny MVC any space. No territory, no rotations, no availability to really tread on these walls or in these waters. 35 seconds approaching. Fuel, nice little tap. They finally get the defense to separate, and that puts them up by 2.
Persistence was key here. I mean, how many shots did we see from this corner? Finally, Prophet's got full boost and enough space to work with. And that has whittled down this MVC defense to the point where they just could not put up any more. They may just leave another on the table. Sniper McGee may have just secured the win.
Less than 30 seconds to go and a bit of apprehension. You saw it in the guy that was at the crosshair. They were hoping that Axeron would be the next man up. They were also to the more forward side of the ball. So for all intents and purposes, a 4-3 was all of a bait, pulling the string right in front of them. The Vikings, they got so close, but the good news for them, this was a massive outlet of rage by the Fuel as they go and light things ablaze. 10 goals shared between these squads.
I feel like the extended possession is so true to the uncommon trait we mentioned earlier, the path to victory being grind them down. We expected a long series, and their ability to bounce back has been impressive. It's not just that mentality, though, to come back from a loss, even a shutout loss, and to score more and win in the next game, but it's due to their play style as well. They're great at putting the pressure on and delivering when it counts. Fuel tie up the series at 1-1.
They knew that there was something left to be said. They knew that they left a lot of goals in game number 1 unscored. Profit, well, they may have given Axeron at least a dose of some copium to bring into game number 3. But no matter what, into game number 3, we go in it tied up 1 apiece. And for the Fuel, they absolutely needed this. They knew, I think, that there was some confidence to be bred. They had plenty of opportunities, just didn't profit from them. And MVC, gotta give them some credit. There was a lot of life until, well, 3 more were chopped up into their net.
Yeah, I think this is an efficient team when it comes to scoring on their chances, right? I mean, they were 1 for 1 in game number 1, right? This time they're 4 for 6 in game number 2. You give this MVC team time on offense, they'll put points on the board, no doubt about it. Fuel, though, they're a chip you down until you fall to the ground. They are a grind you down team, true to the testament that we talked about earlier. And it's part of the way and the connections. Wonderful passing plays around the backboard to score, but Profit also really turned their play style from demo hungry in game 1 to scoring hungry in game 2. Kind of took matters into their own hands, going for 4 participation of goals of their 7. Love to see the new phase of Fuel in game number 2, and we'll see if they stay on the winning side for number 3.
I feel like we're going to see ebb and flow for this Fuel squad, depending on how some of the play occurs with Spazzy as well. Profit is the linchpin, is definitely a solid foundation to work with, but Spazzy seems to always be there. So apparently do MVC cars flying by as they have their second man just going absolutely in. Axeron gives them time. Good rotations. They're taking these corners away, and Fuel is now trying to hold up in the hut that is their net.
Yeah, and all it takes is 1 miss on defense for them to get the space they need, the time to get the boost as well. Sniper McGee need not the fuel in the tank, that is, to get this Fuel team out in the way.
First minute quickly may come and go, as I believe that was Spazzy looking at his own teammate, hoping for that one to come to him, but he was facing his net. Honest shot by Axeron, and solid challenge as second man tries to fill in again. But we are now beyond that first 60 seconds. MVC has had a lot of time in bluer grasses. They've been looking at a lot of these Vikings bearing down upon them, but they really haven't seemed too stressed just yet.
And that's good. You want to have the composure across the game. Beto, that's great composure near the goal line. Looked like it was enough to just barrel that shot through, go full bulldozer. Yet the wall was put up by Fuel, and they'll have to go again. This chance, led by Axeron, Beto flies in, center field. At the logo now is Skibbs. Plays the ball to the side, going for the double. Not enough speed to get to it. Axeron lunges in for the shot, but it's the takeaway from Profit, who's trying to get that goal scoring back and going for Fuel.
This feels eerily similar but opposite in terms of stat output from game number 1. We could be having just a 1-0 game, y'all, but it's been MVC that's been traveling down into the backyard of Fuel's house. You're going to have a big boot. Profit doesn't have any boost, and this one's just going to be MVC kind of tossing it away. So we've got a rainbow factory as both teams are arching it between one half of the pitch and the other. Now the rotation upwards by MVC is a bit lacking. They had a big gap that was opened up. Beto's going to toss it over to Axeron one more time. Profit's in a weird position. That means it should be a shot opportunity. Beto leaves it for one man, and it's going to be Skibbs. Of all people, third man comes in clean.
There it is. Success through the chaos. Skibbs takes on the whole defense, puts it bottom corner, and MVC Purple had won the last game that the final score was 1-0. Could they do it again?
You look at Beto and you look at Axeron in that previous play, you're like, someone's taking this pass up. There's no way not one of them is taking that touch and that shot. And then it goes sidewall outwards and they just clean the line. And that was all Skibbs left to go. Now this one, can they get there? Furthest possible spot. Profit gives their life and gets the tie.
Had a feeling it wouldn't end 1-0, but in this fashion, not so much. What a take from Prophet. You put that anywhere nearer to the center of the net, and there's a save. But now we're tied.
Vikings finally, after breaking the ice, see their part of the iceberg crack just a little bit more. Nice possessive flick by Sniper McGee. He's won 2 touches. Can the third go over to Prophet? Prophet cannot get around the ball. It doesn't become a shot. More so just angles it into the corner. Spazzy sees that one squirt past him, but again, Sniper McGee has been very patient. An awkward touch by Axeron. He does at least claim the near corner boost. Spazzy launches this one from the side. It feels like they're trying to get MVC baited outwards from their own back corners.
I also saw some creative tactics employed by Fuel. They're taking one striker to fake the ball and the next to take the shot. That can keep the defense guessing. And that guesswork makes for a less formidable foe on the goal line. But they've certainly found their way out. Skibbs is just walking the dog. 0 boost, not a care in the world. Takes a 50-50, but it does end up in Fuel's fashion. Spazzy, once again, reliable on the shot taking. How about Sniper? As that's back off the ceiling. Looks like Fuel have MVC back in the pressure cooker.
Oh, and they probably will have themselves through. Great save by Axeron. Is that how they do it in Spain? Keeping their wits about them and their nerves calm. 35 seconds left. That goes over the head. Skibbs didn't think enough speed will be put behind it, and that will be their undoing.
Feels like free kick central for Fuel Esports. You tee up that ball at center field, and they will catapult it to the net. Taking advantage, taking off guard, really, is MVC on those couple of plays, and that might just tell the tale for game 3. Woo! Including another from Spazzy.
Spazzy really trying to put the nail in this coffin. 26 seconds and just about, 7 or so off from this kickoff rotation. Prophet got a full tank and then saw his teammate fly by. I was like, well, I don't need to do nothing. So it's 3 the other direction. Fuel looking like they can put this one to rest and get themselves at least a series lead heading into game number 4. MVC has a little bit of time to respond, but it's tough to do so.
Certainly is. Time not on their side, and with another clear, you've just about sealed the deal. Top of the backboard, Skibbs will take that to the corner, and that'll do it. Second win here for Fuel, as they've seemed to figure out the whole scoring thing after game number 1 and never look back.
They've acquired, 10 goals in 2 games after a shutout in game number 1, which, I feel like arguably should have had a goal or 2 inside of it. But MVC, they've averaged at least a goal per game. But unfortunately, the volume that I had talked about before doesn't mean it's always getting through the pipes. They keep within distance of only a single shot less from what the Fuel is doing, but the Fuel is finding their way into the back of the net. They were doing so off of demos. They were making sure that Spazzy was let loose, but a play that really came alive and kind of controlled a couple minutes into that game, at least a minute and a half or so, was Sniper McGee, who I had looked at as maybe kind of a slower link of this team. But hey, when all 3 are now awake, that Fuel squad is looking very dangerous.
I'm glad you called out Sniper McGee becoming a real factor, an important factor of this team, especially on defense. The team's only 3 saves. You're looking at a team of MVC whose shot efficiency was above 60% for this game. That game, they went 1 for 6. And Sniper McGee was a big part of that. It's great to see Fuel working on all cylinders here.
Oh, that was a nice touch. Prophet couldn't quite get everyone in line for it. Already they're aiming to bleed MVC dry, but they do fill up a couple of the tanks. Now hopefully they end up chasing some of these big boomers, because that is what you got to do to take possession. So far they've been landing for 50-50s, hoping to win the overall ground game and to getting boost into the tank and seeing if they can just catch Fuel lacking. Axeron cannot fully adjust to this one. He has a teammate that can though, and Beto will not let efforts go wasted.
High balls have been the key for both teams succeeding here, and it's just better vision that MVC have pushing forward into that one when it's bouncing off the backboard and you're on the goal line. Sometimes those reads are a little too tough. NVC start up with the lead once again. Now they've got to find a way to stop Fuel on the other side.
A little bit different of an identity for this squad. Prophet showing patience, sticking to the ceiling like Spider-Man, and just waiting it out. Knowing they had a flip, there would be a delay in the drop of his car, and just making sure this one stays nearby. Spazzy trying to put on their best impression, but Sniper McGee comes in with a hot shot.
Again, we knew they'd be an important factor to this team as the series ramped up, and they're proving just that. Cool as the other side of a pillow sheet on that one for the tying goal.
I've been told that I need to up my thread count because my pillows should not be feeling like 2-ply. I just tell all y'all you need to live rough, okay? But these guys, they're feeling soft, they're feeling comfy, they're feeling like they can be able to take this one. Skibbs trying to at least lay one from the crossbar. And Prophet's gonna be in big chase. He wins not just one but 2 challenges. Hoping to get that corner boost, does so. That means they are very lacking resource-wise off of that rotation. First 100 seconds finally elapses, and now they're just trying to force the issue.
Oh, wow. Touch from Sniper gets right off of their teammate and nearly combined for a pinball play to the net. Instead, it's going to be Sniper to try yet again. I mean, this player has just been a force. Pass up the backboard, goes to Spazzy. It's a bouncer to the net, and Axeron is bailed out. Yet they are having a hard time stopping the prowess of Fuel. Another pass to the center field, and a couple players collide. To get it out, Axeron again the other way. MVC Purple. They have had quite a run of things in the last minute.
Feels like there's a lot more panic than there are communications. Oh no, what is happening? Division 8 on full display. It has hit every side of the pipe. A double tap. Oh, what a save! Axeron gets behind it. How in the world did this ball not hit net?
It's got a mind of its own at this point. There's a force field on that goal line. There is no way that's not a goal for Fuel. Unbelievable. MVC Purple, they gotta go to score now because clearly something's on their side. Buy a lottery ticket while you're at it.
2 minutes. 2 minutes left. And somehow we have been just playing the Carol of the Bells off of every part of this perimeter. Finally, Prophet throws one high. Axeron can't find it. It goes off Beto, and Spazzy just goes for gold.
Hey, if you're Fuel, you gotta laugh at that whole sequence and kind of take a breath there and say, okay, we got the goal. Let's continue on. Let's continue hammering on the shots. We talked about it at the beginning. Grind them down. That has been the key, but sometimes this MVC team knows how to get relief.
Find one big booming clear. They go high, and it makes it difficult for some of these reads. And you have that side flip. No one really anticipating the speed off of these longer midline shots. Would you call it more of a baseball term that Fuel ran the cycle to hit every part of that net except the back of it until the end?
I'm seeing the vision there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. You might as well try everything if nothing's going in the net at that point. Get everybody at bat. But it looks like anybody can be a slugger in this game. Axeron had a chance on their own solo play. Didn't go all the way to plan, and Beto is beaten to the ball. Spazzy tries to stop that counterattack. A lot of clears that look like good shots. That's how we've seen Fuel score quite a bit. Prophet just waiting and baiting their opponents into the play.
I feel like I'm hearing that commercial. You got to be quicker than that. So dollar on a string. Prophet now takes on 2. Beto, hoping for a massive clear, can't get the midline boost, but steals the corner. Axeron will take that boost, which means they're going to be living on fumes here on the side of the Fuel. Skibbs from the near side. 37 seconds. Taking it from the corner just when Prophet swam on out.
Oh, and Spazzy had the right idea. You got to get to the ball at a double jump. They closed the gap as quickly as they could. The problem is, you can't beat Skibbs. Hell, they were not quicker than that.
Half a minute approaching. This has been a skirmish. This has been a fist fight. Remember that we said if Fuel was going to take this series, it would be in 6, with the way they've got to just slowly grind away the Vikings, because their quick strike efficiency apparently was something I should have noted. I thought this would be a shotgun wedding, but instead, these guys are trying to be the bride.
9 seconds, pass from Spazzy, up for the shot is Sniper, able to keep the ball in play as Skibbs protects the house. That doesn't do it though. Kept alive from Spazzy, ball, no, undone. And there you have it, Missouri Valley tie up the series.
If Fuel is going to take it, no sooner than 6 now. MVC, great response, but again, let's talk about it because this felt closer to the first with 13 shots to now the 5, not just the 1 out of the Vikings, but look how much time is spent defensively. 10 saves. How many of those in that particular column was from that 30-second just chaotic pinball situation? I gotta wonder.
It felt like a lot, and then you need a 4th row, right? The post, the crossbar.
Yeah.
How many saves they had as well? You said it. We were ringing in the carol, the bells, ding, ding, ding. The fries were done, but with all those saves, they have a couple of wins now for their record as well. However they can take it, they'll take it, right? And that's what you got to focus on. Get your wins however you come, and take on the next 5 minutes as a new clean slate.
Well, we got a best of 3 in front of us, everyone. It's as if it's all not happened, but it's definitely been happening. Someone's got to win 2 games, regardless if it's in a row or split between 3. Beto with a lob up to Skibbs, who gets very aggressive. Axeron has been trying to take on the skyward styles and really force this one to go much more vertical. And I love the control that we do get out of both these teams. We're getting a little bit of that early on here in game number 5 by the Vikings. Winner of this game gets to have match point first.
And it's going to be a highly coveted match point without flip-floppy. This match has been, you want the advantage in this series. Got to keep in mind, single elimination here in NECC Nationals. This is do or die for both teams, as Sniper McGee knows just that as they go in for the save. Another block made from Spazzy on the backboard.
Ton of this trying to stretch the defense upwards. Spazzy, rather, that's Profit. A great extension off that flip reset. But seeing if they can force that backboard to be where everyone ends up craning their neck just a little bit too high. So, first minute and 15, MVC's bearing down upon the Fuel, which has had a flicker of their flame and, you know, some of their extra fuel to keep them warm starting to cool off. This is going to be a chip shot. Oh, and it makes 2 of the defenders look back.
It does. Sniper McGee. I mean, it's a flame that's roaring now, that began as embers in the beginning of the series. Now the players are looking and thinking they're a little too close to the bonfire. Sniper McGee opens up the scoring in a very good way for Fuel. Will they get a second here? Spazzy, right behind the ball for the shot. It's off the bar.
Unfortunate for them. They knew they could just kind of rip one on target, and that's been one of the issues right now with MVC. They allowed too many chances for the Fuel to just have a look. That is something you can't have, but for Axeron, he screams by it, waits to see if it drops. He's like, you know what, let me get a touch, and then finds it off a defender.
And I love the pass from Skibbs as well. You know, they knew they couldn't score, but let me tip this in front of the net regardless. Sometimes you got to have that faith in your teammates that they'll make a big play.
Well, we go 1 apiece. This has been anyone's guess as to who is going to end up taking these games or having these leads. It's been very back and forth regardless. And we talk about the first 3 games where it was 1-0 for game number 1 and then 7 in that second. So Fuel has found an offense, but I feel like everything is finally balanced out. Vikings hoping to find a mistake from out of Fuel. This goes backboard. No, it drops right into the hands of Sniper McGee, but they've not found an exit plan.
No, it becomes harder and harder to search and find it, especially as they're just surrounding your net. Skibbs has had such a great feature in this game. I love the willingness to stay in the play and finish the job.
There's a lot of players that would have just kind of auto rotated all the way back, say, all right, it's on the other side, let me grab boost, let me get out and go fill the lane. Spending that extra second, looking back, seeing what your teammate will do is so important and so helpful to see what will maybe come about. Axeron didn't pick up that boost, so he can't really influence this one too much. He still gets Sniper McGee to stall, and that forces two defenders from the fuel to come up to the midline, but they do at least end up in positive territory.
And that's important because it gives them a chance at scoring. And we know for MVC especially, if they get an opportunity, they've got a much better chance at finishing the job. 100 boost. Oh, for the defense. But nothing to stop Spazzy.
There's something about both these teams taking advantage of trailing, shadowing. Sometimes you do it defensively, but also you can do it just to threaten what is the potential. And so when they stuck behind that would-be defender, that ends up being right off of their trunk, and now they take a free shot. 95 seconds. MVC, they're gonna send a man. Skibbs can't, or Beto rather, can't quite get there. But they still will cycle around these walls. Spazzy gets enough, and they're gonna wait on what Sniper McGee might be able to get, as we're tied at 2. Oh! That one goes off crossbar, but not without another threat forthcoming.
Woo, I'm impressed by the defense right now at MVC Purple. They were ready for anything. And there may have been a double commit there, but how about a chance here? Spazzy takes it away, and effortless backboard defense from Spazzy, even as the extra couple of touches out and away to secure safe territory. For Fuel, esports rising. One clear could change everything, though, and Skibbs is keen to turn this around. Profit off the backboard. Here comes Spazzy.
Oh.
That one not close enough.
A little bit wayward. Everyone is feeling the nerves of this moment. Yes, there's no elimination in this game, but that key match point, so necessary. Especially we talk about advantages, talk about what could sneak through. Missouri Valley College, they've found Fuel, showing their nerves on their sleeves. Heart is there too. They're having a heart attack, and now they're trying to attack with Profit. That goes far and yard, and it will go off the post. But Skibbs, now they collect just when they need it most.
This is about the third time that Skibbs tries this exact play. Long clears at the net. The last one didn't work because they demoed a player on Fuel. They respawned for the save. This time, nobody home. And with 10 seconds, Fuel find themselves behind. They've got to send it all. Sniper McGee looking for the bump, the ball, anything that will help them at all. They're just not going to be able to do it.
1 second, 2 goals behind. The math just will not math unless you somehow get it down to decimals. Can you imagine? Clock down into decimal land? Hey, ride it up. NBA does it. Why not us? We will see this one go into a game number 6 with Fuel now on the precipice of defeat and Vikings trying to move on.
Well, you have me wondering that if 2 players go for a crazy pinch, can they keep it at 1 second? I don't know. I like to think that physically it's possible, but in that situation, not so much. MVC have done the work there to secure a match point in this series, and I mean, hell, Monkey, man, it didn't look like this would be the case ultimately, right? They win that 1-0 game, at game 1, and then they give up 10 goals in the next 2 games. How have they been able to bounce back in this way?
Well, the good news is that for all the goals you collect in a single game, that you can't carry those goals forward. Can you imagine if instead of like it's like total goals scored just across all games? That'd be a change of the strategy. But it's been about taking it to the middle of the pitch. There's been a lot of possession-based game that they have just stolen from Spazzy and Profit, and whereas Sniper has really stood up. I mean, they've not allowed easy shots to occur. So they've ground it down. News in the playbook that we mentioned now in favor of MVC. But there's still a lot of time, and this series has gone anything but in a straight line. So we could be seeing a Game 7 forthcoming.
It certainly feels that way, but how about a first goal right at bay? Spazzy returns fire early on.
I feel bad for Axeron. They went it for it with Skibs as they were trailing them, and then they got caught. There's nothing more defeating than when the undercarriage of your car is just sliding on the woodwork. You cannot escape that.
It is a tragic circumstance to find yourself in. You want to hold the power slide, you want to get grounded somehow, and it's just not happening. I'll tell you what, Fuel Esports are looking like the kind of team that you'll see in game number 7. I like that downfield pass. Try to get the quick whip of a shot from the half-court line that we've seen from them before. They were the free kick connoisseurs before, but now they'll have to head on back to their own side for defense.
Don't let your view narrow. I know that they put blinders on horses so they go in a straight line, but continue to have a view of the field. That's exactly what Fuel is starting to open up with. They're recognizing that these passing plays have not been happening. They've just been trying to win one-on-ones. Sniper McGee will keep this one up pitch. He's actually going to have a helping hand by Spazzy. Prophet wants to turn this one into the same trademark spot that they keep challenging. It's that left side post and just cleverly getting it around defenders. That one goes outside and away. And Fuel, they're up by 1. Feels like they should have 3.
Been here before. Fuel Esports have to keep in mind it takes a little bit extra to get that point on the board. This might just be that extra that they need. Lovely aerial challenge from Axeron. A necessary one. Fuel will take to the skies if they have to score. That touch a little bit wayward from Axeron. Skibs plays bail out my team defense, as now it's even more vulnerable. Axeron, another save, and you wonder how many does it take to stop Fuel Esports from hammering it away at your net.
And maybe this just lack of boost. They take the negative values, accumulate that together, and maybe that's what it takes, because they finally at least clear out, but it's brief. We've had a one-touch offense from out of MVC. Feels like Missouri Valley has found themselves into bluer places at this point in time. Might be able to get this one working. Unfortunately for Axeron, can't get around the ball. He'll have to trust in Beto to do that much more efficiently. Hop, skip, jump. Spazzy will at least send it upwards, and that will burn through some precious resource MVC doesn't often get to have. But look how the spacing is. Fuel is kind of sending everything in the kitchen sink as a team that is down in this series. And now they're finding open lanes because of their demo game. But it's the MVC defense that hasn't gone anywhere too quick.
No, they've been stuck here for quite a bit. I'd like to see their offense be a little more efficient like we've seen before. Instead, the last possession they had, they just flew themselves into the ball. It slammed off the backboard, and it gave that free counterattack to Fuel Esports. You tend to get a little bit jumpy when you don't have a lot of possession in the game, so when you do get it, you fly in as quick as you can, but that's not always the efficient path to the net. This one has to be one of the closest saves we've seen so far, as MVC are keen to keep this game as close as possible, coupled up with the save out of Beto.
It was Skibs and Beto together that, they didn't overcommit to it. This is going to be from downtown. Axeron waiting. They're going to throw it off their trunk. A pitch and catch situation to try and give it to Skibs. Game 7 is 60 seconds away. MVC purple. Remember, if they go deep, sometimes they don't make it out of the depths. They have seen longer series that have really gone against them. And for this grindy squad of Fanshawe, the Fuel are trying to just force them to be outlasted in a war of attrition, even if it's just by 1-0.
But every second counts, and there's 30 of them still on the board. Prophet hit wayward with his touch. He's left it wide open for Beto. Fortunately for Fuel, MVC weren't able to capitalize on that play. Axeron misses the flip reset, and that's dove on by Sniper McGee. Skibbs plays the 50-50, and there has to be a play. This is going to be the last chance, really. Out of Missouri Valley, the dunk for Spazzy could give them all they need. The fake shot, the send-in from Sniper is out of the way. Beto has boost, but finds themselves wayward of the ball. Fuel force Game 7.
Division 8, Game 7. Fuel knew it had to go the distance if they were going to try and make it happen. Well, now this is the furthest point in a series that you could ever be. Spazzy has the 1 goal, has a savior medal of saves, and 12 shots across all of the Fuel to just the 4, tripling up the effort and output and opportunity that Missouri Valley College was trying for that game. Felt like they got that one and maybe should have had some more, but just couldn't get beyond at least a solid representation of the defense. But MVC, their offense just kind of took a nap.
Yeah, I think if I'm Missouri Valley, I am exhausted and in need of a nap, because how do you play that much defense and you're still standing ready for another game? I have no idea. That is a very tough game to get through, especially when it feels like that dollar on the fishing rod again, right? Success is right on the doorstep. If you can just reach it, if you can just score a single goal, the win is yours. We come now to Game 7, where maybe 1 goal will be the difference. You hope for Missouri Valley it's not this one.
Fuel know how to take very deep series and turn them into profit. They also know sometimes you just let your opponent break down on their own. We've seen the pros do it, and so we see it in college as well. Sniper McGee doesn't catch him sleeping just yet. Skibbs sends it outwards. Spazzy hoping for a teammate to fill the gap.
Well, Profit's right there on the attacking rotation. It's Sniper who's been quick to the punch ever since Game 3. Only been heating up since then. It's going to have to be the one to play defense. Actually missing the mark. The next player bumped in. MVC, you needed a shot taker there. 2 goalies removed from the play, but no striker.
There's been a lot of delay in the second and third man position from out of MVC lately. They're not as full tilt all in downhill running as Fuel. And Fuel was doing it from a place of disadvantage in the series overall. They've just been decidedly saying you must answer the call to what we are going to do, taking your own playbook and just throwing it at you in the library. Minute 15, MVC. Oh, seeing if they can force Profit to score on his own net. They come away with a demo instead as they try to thin the hurt.
It may have been one of the slowest pinches I've seen of 2 players colliding to the ball at the same time, but that's one of the quicker ones. The bump comes in against Sniper McGee. Profit tries to get it out and away into safer territory, but it's never safe when Beto's behind the ball. Sniper already on the savior medal. He's played defensively so well for their team, and may have to continue to do so as it's another save for them.
Seeing a lot of solid connecting. A double commit. Axeron's the only one left. They got to make sure they get this read. There's going to be a pinch back, and no. Can't quite get the pitch and catch. And again, you see teammates hugging it out. Not the time, fellas. That's going to go crossbar. And too many times has the perimeter and the 4th man shown up in favor of the Vikings.
If you're a Fanshawe fan, you're thinking, not again. How many times is the woodwork going to return to sender? And Fuel gonna find another way to repackage their effort and try again.
Halfway mark. It's a 1-0. Feels eerily similar to the way that we saw it in game number 6. MVC is all reactive. Feel like the comms are not happening. They're just going for things, seeing if it will stick, open up a chance. You even have players that are just sitting on the goal line. A swing and a miss by all 3 players. Triple commit. That's a dagger. Trying to be able to stab it into the heart of these Vikings as Fuel continues to just ravage them, and Profit will get the insurance goal.
You'd think that just one shot needs to go on target, the way that MVC looked like Magikarp on the goal line. They were using splash, flip-flopping, jump-hopping, nothing doing. You just had to put it on, and Fuel do it. A 2-goal lead feels good, but maybe not enough at this point in time. So how about 3?
Less than 2 minutes. We've seen MVC make use of this amount of time to get 3 goals. But can they do it in such a way, especially in such a moment in the first round here for the NECC Nationals? These Forge trials, apparently the fire for the Forge is hot and good to go. The Vikings, their weapons seem a bit dull. They finally get a moment on attack. This is going to go from the 90-degree angle. Double commit. No one there to fill the back line. As the backdoor banded himself and Beto. Maybe they turn right back around, but Spazzy keeps calm.
I like that lane from Beto, though. Cut right through the transition attack out of Fuel. Saying, no. We have our offensive rotation in form. We are going to play that second and third man a little bit quicker now because it's been lagging. Much like the goalie in this situation. Not up to the task, as it's just more about Spazzy.
Do more, get 4. Fuel has done everything necessary except run out the clock to be able to earn their way into round number 2 of Nationals. Neither of these squads has been to Nationals before. Their first trip here, a first round, is going to be a soul-crushing venture in Division 8. A minute 5 left to go. You play until the whistle blows. MBC trying to throw blows for this last remaining moment.
It's been such a difficult ride here for Missouri Valley. You've had games where you're outscored by multiple points, but they have never given up. Beto has been behind some of the best plays for this team and finally is able to secure one.
Sniper McGee was hoping to get that one upwards. Axeron ends up locked into a Rule 1 just as that one is at least taken as a delay challenge. So for 47 seconds, you're averaging a goal basically every 15 seconds or so. You've got to get a touch at minimum. Full tilt is Fuel. You would think that they are behind with the way they are still downhill running, and they're going to continue to put the pressure on.
Well, that downhill running is giving them some incredible speed and momentum. The kind of momentum you just can't stop. It's Fuel Esports all the way, rising to the next round of NECC Nationals.
Vikings trying to keep a semblance of competitive stature. They might be able to get one. And suddenly, the leash is loose. Everyone is running amok. And this little bit of chaos, Fuel needs to make sure they tend to it because MBC can still score quickly.
NBC have that working for them. They have my Jinx working for them. There's something to this kickoff now as Axeron. The better of the touch, but not the fuel, not the boost that they needed. Beto almost had the cutoff angle on the shot. Instead, it's taken away. Skibbs shot saved by Spazzy in case they hadn't done enough on the goal scoring end themselves. That'll do it. Fuel Esports rising. They're moving on to round 2.
It took at least 6. This one went the full 7. Congratulations over to the Fanshawe Fuel Esports Rising squad from out of London, Ontario, as they'll be taking it over Missouri Valley College JV Purple. And they'll be moving on to round number 2. A very tough contest, and I didn't think into my green room notes that the volume would be lowered by Fuel and then raised at the last second, actually throughout the entirety of this one, into their own party. MVC, they looked good, but it was great coming out of the side of the Fuel.
Yeah, listen, as we said, we knew it would go all the way if it was going to be that Fanshawe win, and we did take it to game number 7. But you're right, the volume that was expressed from the Fanshawe side instead of Missouri Valley was a bit of a surprise for us. But credit to MVC because they still made that playstyle work for them. I'm always amazed at the game of Rocket League. I think it's one of the best esports to pay attention to and watch because even if you have a team that looks like the lesser foe and plays a lot of defense and it has to rely on some of those crazy saves, they're still the team that can carve away wins. It just takes a goal and a formidable goal line defense to stay alive. And so this was really a clash of two different styles that had to go to game 7 to decide it.
And a lot of experience was gained. Both these teams was their first try at nationals, and so hopefully they end up doing very well going to the next couple semesters, and maybe they get to return. It will be the Fuel that will be facing off against the winner between Loyola Marymount University Lions versus Transylvania University. So we'll get to see who comes out of that one. But for right now, we're a little bit over time because we had a lot of time as we went to game number 7. But this is our final matchup coming up. After this short break, it is going to be the D4 Nationals with the University of the Cumberlands. Can the Patriots be able to take on University of Alabama in Huntsville? Well, we'll get to find out with the charges and all right after this short break.
Forge Trials is presented by the Army National Guard.
lie to you.
You'll still have common days. Get caught in traffic during your commute. Overthink a text message. Get a song stuck in your head. This is not one of those days. A few weeks a year and you'll discover the most uncommon time of your life.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NECC Nationals Forge Trials. And of course, the Forge Trials are presented by the Army National Guard. So make sure to find your calling at nationalguard.com. But we've been finding our calling into some awesome series tonight. We've already had a sweep in Division 6, a Game 7 in Division 8, and now we're going into a grudge match. Division 4 aims to deliver. I wonder if we can do the same thing as we get into it, as we go to our next best of 7 and our final best of 7. This one between the University of the Cumberland's Patriots out of the Central Williamsburg, Kentucky division. Well, they're going to be taking on University of Alabama at Huntsville, the Blue Chargers out of Huntsville, Alabama, with Always Ready, Murray, and Voku going against Mr. Chicken Ball, Magic, and Low Key. These guys have got some little bit of history between each other, Pyro, and they're going to do it again tonight.
They do, and I've even had the pleasure of watching the Patriots recently. Always Ready, Voku, Murray. They are a trio to watch. So let's talk specifically about what it's going to take. Some uncommon traits for the Patriots to take the win tonight. And I want to talk very first about how they are ready for anything. Okay, that Always Ready player is the captain for a reason. Has been on the squad twice in matchups where they've defeated UAH. So exactly what you mentioned, Hell Monkey Man. They've got a history, and Always Ready has certainly been a part of it. That was fall 24 and spring 25. Now, let's move on to the fact about surviving round 1. Okay, yes, the Patriots have been into the playoffs off that garnered success in the last 3 semesters, but they get knocked out in nationals every time. Round 1, they have to survive here. They've got to gear up to move forward. And finally, let's talk about moving forward. They got to run with momentum. They've got all those wins on their back. They've got Voku, who is a new third who brought this team to a first in their division. They've got what it takes now after that Central Playoffs victory to go all the way.
There's some more uncommon traits to try and match up. Maybe we go over to the side of UAH. The Chargers have a lot to answer this call against the Cumberlands because they've got an identical twin situation going on. Not just because Chicken Ball is in fact an identical twin, and I have had the pleasure of having friends with 3 sets of identical twins. They all knew. I don't know how, but they all knew what the other one was thinking, which I know that their twin is not playing with them in the game, but there's just something about mind melding, and they're used to doing that. So you're going to see some hive mind communication probably happening, but also identical twin because they are nearly the exact same statistically as Cumberland's across the pitch from them. So you have to defeat literally your doppelganger. So in so doing, they need to overcome the minimum. That comes in 2 flavors. 1, this squad through 2 years of play, 4-4, 5-5, 4-4. they continue to go dead even. That you go even 500, that minimum to make playoffs, and they also get round one. Also, for some reason, Magic plays on 60 FPS. I hope they increase that by at least twice that in the near future. So a little bit of that. But this is a revenge match. We talk about the history between them. No greater motivation can exist than trying to take down a rival. They have met twice. This is thrice. It's not going to be nice from the side of the Chargers, as they want to be able to really fist fight against Cumberlands. And of course, these uncommon traits are brought to you by the Army National Guard. So make sure to find your calling at nationalguard.com. But we get into this matchup. There is so much on the line. Obviously, a round one Nationals, a single elimination. But for UAH, this has got to come in an ice-cold flavor as they're aiming to take down the Cumberlands.
They woke up this morning with a mission, right? They said, today we have business to attend to. We have to remove this Patriots team once and for all, get that monkey off their back. No offense to you, Hail Monkey Man. But that's the focus at this point. They ate their Wheaties. They fueled themselves with whatever strength that it takes to win a BO7 today. That being said, for the Patriots, they want to finally get through round one of Nationals. Both teams, a lot to play for, and finally, we get to see it in action.
Go to game number one, our last game one of the night. It's Division 4. We go Div 8 up to Div number 4. It's our highest one to showcase on this lovely Wednesday, first week of Nationals Forge Trials here for the NECC. It's going to be fast, it's going to be quick, and it's going to be in your face. As UC aims to be all over the back line of the Chargers, I'm going to be looking at two separate players in specific, but hold on, because Murray wants their name up in lights.
I said, bring the limelight over here, please. What a near pre-jump. I mean, they were up for this right away when that pass came off, saying, backboard defenders, if you're going to miss this, I'm going to make it.
And that was literally in their DNA. I saw Season 7 legendary baller. Well, dude has already put up a two-piece from downtown.
Okay. Three-pointer, free throw, layup, whatever it takes. Murray is on it. Ballin', and they ain't stopping. 2-0 Patriots. This one, getting away from UAH quick.
Chargers, often anything that ends up being charging, be it in D&D, be it a hog in the wild, if it goes in a straight line, it goes fast. But a lot of the world goes by you quickly. So if they end up going a bit too quick beyond the Patriots, who are going to set up shop in their own back end, life can be difficult for you. Patriots are used to beating UAH. They basically made it a tradition at this point to do it at least once a year. And this apparently is, they're trying to do it early on in 2026.
Yeah, and that's always ready, always a part of that squad that defeats UAH. So kind of locking into this lobby, having that winner's mentality. But I can start to tell other reasons why you might have that winner's mentality. They've got players like Murray who are ready to pop off. I mean, near double tap off their own corner, you know they're already in that flow state.
Everyone looking for a psycho just cause. Not just because he can be able to be a dangerous shot, but he finds a great clear. Murray's up, no one's there. Oh my lord, he continues to throw down. He's already got a hattie in less than 90.
At this point, if you're the Chargers, do not ascend the ball in front of your net. That came off a Charger player. Thinking maybe they could get a long clear. No, not if Murray is perched up at the center of the field ready to take it down. Lovely double tap goal.
Goku will try to collect, creates just a little bit of space to aim to bop that one towards the wall. That will be taken advantage of by UAH as finally Huntsville ends up moving forward. And this is a bit lackadaisical defense, chicken ball. Let's play some speedball. Is this one just got its way between the rotation?
Yeah, hey, you know what? You said that twin energy, right? And they just had some kind of synchronization to say, let me cut back into the rotation. I'm gonna play this pass off the corner. I'm gonna take a shot, and I'm gonna hope that the defense doesn't have a hand up. That's the case with that one.
I feel like Chicken Ball was being, kind of Jedi minded with his brother, saying, hey, you got to go for this. Low key, much the same as they both approach. This is an accidental fumble by, I think that was Always Ready. They were unready for the attack forthcoming.
I love that from the Chargers. You talk about sprinting in a straight line. They are attacking with force. That is a quick challenge of the ages to say, if you're not ready, we are. And that was nearly a tied up game. I can't believe we've nearly cut this deficit all the way.
Might be able to do it here. There you go. Oof. Chicken Ball finds a couple. Chicken Ball has been around for, I think that was the latter term. Actually, no, the entirety of this squad's interim from the last couple of years. And they're just showing they don't need to do anything too fancy. Stay low, stay approachable, make sure to take advantage of when the Patriots are pinned with their backs to the wall, and we're suddenly 3-all.
Look at this from Voku off the backboard, down in front, nearly the goal. And unfortunately or fortunately for the Patriots, the only player to have a shot registered, that's 4 of them, is Muri. Voku was so close, though, to adding to that total of the Patriots. Reddy's looking for that striker of Muri. Picks up the ball, sends it off the corner. A bit awkward for Chargers, but they'll be fortunate to get that last touch.
Chicken Ball very much finding just an unbreakable, dauntless position on that defense. And now you see giving up a lot of space, always ready, trying to at least duel with Chicken Ball as they come out. Both these squads have actually held on to their primary duos for the last term of at least the last couple of years. So there's a lot of history that rests between both these squads. Chicken Ball has been playing with Low Key, and then they've been kind of trading up with Red and Bop to the next third. Magic, new magical moment. That one's going to go sidewall, hoping for a double tap. And, of course, who is it? It's Murray. They continue to look for chances where there's a tiny moment of vulnerability from UAH.
I mean, it was so much so that I was thinking it was automatic. That's got to be a goal, but that's a really tough angle for them to pick up. Instead, they'll go for the passing option. Ready with a bouncer. That gets saved by Magic, who is going to come out with the squishy save. Impressive stop to keep this game tied up. Ready's getting pre-jumped by Chicken Ball, who is off the ceiling. Dropping on it is Ready. Pass off the backboard. Chicken Ball gets a good stop, but at the ready now is Patriots. They set it off the backboard. They've got the follow-up luffed into the net. It's Muri for number 4.
So happy that the camera guy has an insurance plan, because he snapped his neck trying to find this angle for us. It goes opposite side post. Everyone running out of boost. Smoke screen. Michael Bay couldn't have drafted that one up better. Patriots finally break the stalemate with UAH, as well as having gone stale, just trying to get anything going at all since the last 3 that was scored by the Chargers.
And you got to look out to see if Chargers can put another one on, because with 3 goals, there have actually been 0 saves from the Patriots. It makes you think if they can coordinate a shot, it might just be going in. Can they do it right here? Magic gets a tapper towards the net, but Muri clears it away.
A little bit desynced. Oh, and they make him run on by. Muri everywhere. Basically making this one into a mural of their name all over the scoreboard. Quick chip, and just do it in stride.
Muri off the wall, off the ground, off the ceiling, just about everywhere you could imagine. 5 goals for 7 shots. And a constant nuisance for this Chargers team. Annoying enough that they've secured the win for this team. Just about, that is. Ready takes it up, has Voku on the pre-jump, off of the ceiling, waterfall down, and taken away by Low Key. Our round 1 final Nationals match of the night will start in favor of the Patriots.
Patriots so far across 2 years have only lost 1 game to the Chargers. Now, granted, that's in just a couple matches, but still, they have not let them have much. With 11 shots, 7 of them by Muri, and every single goal, 5 of them being collected by Muri with the 3 assists. I feel like we know who the big baller is, and it's the one that's legendary right there. Muri just was like, you know what? Regardless if my name is not going to be in lights for the rest of this thing, let me off the rip and off the leash. I need to go dunk.
Yeah. Fair enough. 800 points as well. It's a massive score for this first game. And I'm kind of with you when we're thinking it doesn't have to be Muri the whole time. Voku and Always Ready clearly as capable to get that scoring blow, but Muri putting it all in front of them for that play. It's just one of those games where you think, did this team put all their stats in the attack category and none of the defense? Again, no saves in that game. It makes you a little bit worried for what may transpire.
I mean, whenever I speak of Rocket League, the best defense is an irrefutably unwielding offense. It's just in your face all the time and never letting you out. You can't play offense against that unless they do not get a touch. It relies upon just perfection. If you're going to play this exhausting style, then you've got to have one great front runner at minimum. And so far, that's been Muri. Voku's aiming for a possession. Redirect. Oh, almost connect.
Yeah, and these are some very bold plays from the Cumberlands. I mean, this is all over the place, as you mentioned, with these players committing everything on offense, suffocating attack. It really doesn't let Chargers play offense at all. Look at them swarming this one. 2 players rotating ball side. Flip reset shot. Looks solid from low-key. Voku has the read. This long ball midfield. Always ready. Has the touch. But you can be convinced that the Chargers will be ready to make that first save.
Ooh, like the extension on that possession. Chargers have had a couple moments individually that they've looked sound. This is one of those better ones. Oh my goodness, the save from out of Voku. That ended up being in combination. They used the face of a Charger as they went to the goal to try and secure that would-be shot and then just make it go all the way up the pitch. More than 100 seconds have elapsed here in game number 2. We're still scoreless, believe it or not, after everything offensively that was hitting in game number 1 in big ways. UAH looks like they've had better forms upfield, but UC seems to be kind of stringing them along.
Yeah, it is still more of the same, it feels like, with all that pressure from Patriots, but it's turned over a little bit. Patriots finally forced to make now 5 saves compared to not that much in the last game. Hold on, Muri's already all the way upfield, low-key, trying to drop it down for a teammate. That one will not be allowed. Teams taking greater risks for this first goal. This is maybe the most aggression that we've seen out of 2 teams, even on a 0-0 score line. I like that tee up from Magic. Chicken ball. And this Chargers team now the ones putting Patriots in the pressure cooker.
Which is good. You want to see them tested, and you don't want them to find themselves kind of playing into a false sense of security. Because as fast as they've been able to go, and as much as Rocket League is about very confident ego and a lot of mechanics being expertly executed, gotta see what you do on defense. This is gonna be a solid challenge, a bit of a double commit, but Magic at least tends to it as Chicken Ball flies on by. And they will sweep forward with 2 players. Now, Chicken Ball is in an awkward spot, even more so, because Muri continues their scoring ways. They currently have every single goal for the Patriots.
It's crazy because if Muri sees any sliver of a chance to score, they're leaping at it, right? And that ball, it goes saved if they're not diving into the play at full force, full speed, but that's how you gotta do it in Rocket League at times. You gotta give it your all. And I'll tell you what, that touch from Voku had it all. Tons of power down the field. Chargers fortunate to not see another find the way in their net. That's a fake on the flip reset. Chicken ball, not able to score. The save made by Voku, who's been unbelievable on defense.
Huge. If Muri's doing it offensively, then Voku's doing it defensively, and Reddy has been supplying the love to everyone between. That is fantastic work from out of the Patriots, and we've only got the 1-0. So this is within reach, but you've got T-Rex arms if you're the Chargers, and that reach has been tough. They finally sent a top 90. Magic is able to cycle around, and these have always been prompted with the demo to approach.
Yeah, I think some of those demolitions have been the key for this team to find the right gap and get that score. Fortunately for them, it's all ones on the scoreboard. They've got the time and the score to make sure they've got a chance at the win here and turn this series around. Gotta get some production from their own offense, though. And how about the long ball from Magic to do it?
A little bit of magic is always about illusion, and they did not expect this one to go right over their head. That's unfortunate for them, but sometimes a good honest shot will land just the same as one that has a lot of tricks to it. So UAH, they'll take two. Can they be able to turn this one away? Chicken Ball knows that they are stuck and always ready, was ready for that pass.
That's a ruthless one, right? Voku ready to play them like a fiddle. Say, you want a challenge? You want a challenge? No? All right, I'm sending it out. Perfectly played in that 1v1 situation. And what a quick response from Patriots.
That was a tease too, because you had both Muri as well as Voku nearby, but Murray turned away as always ready to take in that boost. So solid communication occurring. This one over the top of one. Squishy pass attempt instead of a save, as you saw an orange man coming out from the underside of the crossbar. Magic to the sidewall, less than a half minute. Overtime could be looming again.
I think he's actually going for the bump on the squishy, because if you get that defender out of the way, the ball probably falls in the net. It was creative. It was almost enough. Just like that, play in front of the net. 10 seconds remaining, and Loki goes for the power shot to the net to avoid overtime. That's not going to do it, though. Muri's advance up the field won't either. Marching forward was Loki for the demolition. Oh, it's open for Magic. Loki's going to try to get the redirect for the pass on the backboard. It's looking good for Mr. Chicken Ball, but it reaches the ground.
Slams down the hexagons. We go to bonus time. Patriots have found this one to be a little bit tougher. Gotta have the muster. You don't have 5 goals from out of Muri. They actually had to share the profits. Sidewall, Muri, it's undeniable as they are able to take it just 12 seconds in.
5 for 5 for their team's goals in game 1. And both of their goals, or excuse me, I guess, enough for this game winner on the OT finisher. Yeah, 2 of the 3 goals this time around. Thought they had another hat trick on their hands there, Hell Monkey Man, but they were the eventual one to put it forward for the Pats.
Also, Voku. Let's talk about them as a workhorse. 4 saves, assisting 100% goal participation for them. That's amazing. That is wondrous work right now for the Patriots. And for the Cumberlands, they continue to run history straight up as it's been. They had 3-0'd and then 3-1 the last couple of times into UAH. And you would think, oh, something's going to change. Something's going to be different. This is not always going to be the same roster. They've got the same dynamic duo of Muri as well as always ready. They bring in Voku, and Voku seals the back line. That's how they got first place in Central. So Patriots have got a winning solution. The Chargers are just slow to the gate.
Sometimes teams find that missing piece that really completes the puzzle. And for what Voku has done on defense, while Muri and Always Ready lead on offense, you can really tell this team has come together in a special way. That being said, that's a strategy that's rather telegraphed. And for UAH, you have the opportunity to adapt and play against it.
For a telegraphed approach, you have to be able to read at the speed that it's being shown to you. And for these guys, so far, they ain't speed readers. I know all about that. I have to read a page per hour. That's mostly distractions for myself. 45 seconds here in the game, number 3. Patriots have a chance to get up into match point. Chargers, they've had some promise. They've had moments, but it feels like they're acting a lot more separated and individually. For me, low-key's been a bit too low-key. They're going to go high-key here, trying to set up a backdoor chance for one of their teammates. Chicken Ball goes flying on by. Can't quite make that read. Crossbar, trying to reapproach. Will go outward.
Feels a little panicked here for UAH. They're trying to outpace UC Patriots, but in the process, missing touches themselves. And that's what top teams will do. They'll force their opponents into awkward positions or strategies that they really can't be clinical under. It's up to UAH to pivot into that strategy a little more cleanly.
What?
Or just hope this happens.
Is there a bump here? Hold on. Magic with this one touch. And There was a lot of assumption of responsibility.
I got it. I got it. Oh, he's got it.
That's both a volleyball and baseball moment.
Yep.
And for all my players out there, they're nodding. Yep. Yeah, that happened. So, Chargers get on the board and they make this first lead.
Oh my, we almost were witnesses to a clip there. Your give and go. And the teammate off the backboard, now it's always ready having to play defense. And for UAH, you see that opportunity and you're wincing because it was right there in front of you.
That was tough. Oh, Chicken Ball had gone all in, and you and I were watching as the back linesman in Magic was trying to rotate upwards. Patriots were not going to let a chance like that go unscored. They immediately recognized the UAH had overextended. They come up, and they turn it into a tied ball game here in game number 3. UAH has seen some lead changes. They haven't seen them enough. That one will stress all Ironsides, and Patriots begin to press forward.
Boku, what a setup for Muri, who of course is there and always ready. A very careful approach to the ball. Had boost in the tank, didn't use really all of it. Trying to make sure they were there for the touch, but they weren't. And so now you're playing from your own side. Always ready doesn't seem to be timid about this time around. It's straight shot to the net. Muri going for the squishy save against a double tap. The double tap's not seen. And so instead, it does get easily blocked, but Chargers still at the attack. Boku gets another block for the team. Added to the tally at this point.
Very solid approach. My goodness, Patriots are living in the walls. They see everything that the Chargers are doing, and they're just writing it down and snickering as they move on for later. This is going to hit that high corner, so they're waiting for that mid-level read to try and get a hard slap directly on with a threatening vein into the net. 100 seconds to go. Patriots are in a position to possibly score next and get this one into a reverse sweep necessary territory for the Chargers. Chargers, they got to be able to run with that one chance given to them and see if they can get a score upfield.
Yeah, the Chargers, you just try to simplify it. You need to play your game, trying to outpace this Cumberland squad. Hasn't worked out plenty in your favor. It's forced you to some awkward positions. Play your roles. Continue to crash the boards and get that strike that's going to do it. Low key has done it from the elbow.
I feel like I'm watching just thunder shock stunning every one of these Patriots like Pokemon do. And everyone just watching a loose ball be unguarded. There's been 2 unaired situations where you just have Chargers tossing one on net and Patriots reeling backwards. Oh my goodness, now they should be able to get one of their own. Huge save. Everyone combining fists together.
And they needed it. Yeah, I mean, that was a well-orchestrated shot from UC Patriots off the kickoff. They hit it as high as possible to force a miss on the backboard. That's exactly what they did. But yeah, everyone came to the answer afterwards. I'll tell you what, Chargers are doing a great job on defense, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep the fuel to push away that pressure as it continues. 20 seconds for the Pats to equalize.
Patriots got to keep it going. Might be able to get it here. Voku trying to force everyone to evacuate. See if they can get Chargers out of the old stable. I don't think that's going to be happening. They just got to keep this one upfield. Challenge everything. A handoff, a double commit. It's on target. Oh, it lands at the doorstep. But Chargers will be able to get away, skin of their teeth.
Oh, I was literally at the edge of my seat on that play. I watched that ball and believed that it would hit the back of the net. Well, or just the bottom of the net right over the goal line. This game is played on a knife's edge at points. I mean, it is pixels that determine the product. And this time, the Chargers were on the right side.
It's sometimes things just happen. I've 2 separate occurrences that got 2 of those 3 goals that was necessary for just, all right, defensive miscue, bit of lapse in immediacy by UC. Feels like the Patriots kind of defeated themselves just a tiny bit. That's not to take away credit from the Chargers because they put the shots on. They forced the Patriots to have to take on awkward spots. So if the Patriots play a little cleaner into this game, feels like it should be at least a force of the issue to a match point. But Chargers, never say die.
I have the same interpretation. I feel like not only on defense do they need to just be more clinical and focus on those blocks. On offense, I don't know if the flashiness is working every time, right? They have someone on their opponent's backboard going for that redirect, or in the midfield, they'll jump and turn upside down for that crazy redirect as well. Okay, maybe it does work. Maybe it just does.
All the way back, Murray forces them to have to look at Voku, which, by the way, that was a nasty pass. Took all of the bounce off of it by hitting it with his tire, put it into a backspin, and set it up perfectly to Murray to be able to lock in.
Yeah, it was lovely. I mean, it counts so much where on the car you're hitting that ball. And as you mentioned on the tires, it really flattens the kickback. Put it right in position for that goal. Chargers have to be careful because that's where Patriots want to play all of their passes right now. They tried it twice in the last game. It didn't come to fruition, but now they're looking to perfect it, and that's a scary thing for UAH.
Chicken Ball's got a little bit of sleep after having a great opener to this series. They've kind of been just daggering down. A lot of work has been picked up by Magic and Low-Key trying to fill where they can, but Chicken Ball is kind of a flash-in-the-pan style player. That's fine, as long as you have a solid structure onto your regular rotation. So Chicken Ball will fill here. That ends up getting underneath them. The physics that kind of ends up onto some of these low challenges are always wild. Low-Key will dodge and jump over a would-be attacking demo-heavy attacker. And we now working to our second minute about to end, and Patriots haven't been too pressed to have to build into this lead.
Mention how those 50-50s can be elusive at times, and whether it's coordinated or not, the Patriots have been on the better end of many of them. It's given them that frequency of shots at the other side, be able to rebound and get those possessions underway. Voku needs the better of that one, and was the one able to coordinate the save. Now they're going for the pass, always ready, up off the backboard, leaves it for a teammate. Murray's got the shot, the bump is there as well, and UC go up by 2.
Magic sees it goes over the head and just is given a front row seat into all of this. Chicken Ball has to deal with too many players, contact or otherwise. There was just too many options left for the Patriots. It's like having 3 drag plays for wide receivers, and you don't know which one's going to be on the level. So halfway, game number 4, UAH light the control right now by Magic. They lift it over the head. They realize if they take some of these shots off pace, Patriots kind of struggle for who is supposed to go for the next one.
They do, but they do not struggle to strike. They may not know who plays the savior role, but any of them play the attacker.
I went right over the head of one, and for a second, I had closed my eyes because I thought it was an own goal, but they right over the shoulder, right, little tap, boop. So, again, sneaking on in, Patriots at a nice 3-0 mark. Oh, Voku not only impresses me for setups that he gives in his passing game, because he knows that Murray is just a demon, but as well as just general field control. Because look, he's taking it all the way to his back corner, gonna take this boost, knows that he's gonna have teammates that will rotate upward, and look, they feed it right back to him as they're setting up another passing play. Oh, Murray just a little late.
Everything was there. They just, every piece to the puzzle, they lost one under the couch or something. It was there, but sometimes not everything comes together as cleanly as you want it. Voku instead gonna be asked for more. On the back line, get some help from Murray. If they couldn't do it on the goal, they'll do it on the goal line. And right now, the demo. Oh, it's such a threat. At this point, it has been a struggle for UAH to get away from that.
finding chicken ball and frying them in the old oven, way back of it too, as he came screaming in thinking, all right, he could take his position into a squishy save, and it just couldn't happen. 4 up, an impressive style the Patriots are playing as they aim to repeat history against UAH. Always ready, looking for a redirect. They do it from the underside of their bumper. 70 seconds, and I don't know if there's enough time for Chargers to recover here in game 4.
Oh, yeah, time is not on their side, and neither is the scoreboard. We saw Always Ready nearly score the other play. It feels like they wanted revenge just to get a second chance, and they earn it. Revenge is the storyline for the other team, though. UAH, they've been bruised by this team before. Twice. They wanted third time to be the charm. They're going to have to get a massive turnaround to do it.
Good news is it won't be a full reverse sweep of a best of 7, but you still got to win 3. Tough scenes, and it just pours on. The other bit of copium is that you can't take these goals with you, but we are going to be close to Memeville as we go up to 6-0, and there's still 45 seconds left.
Oh, yeah. That is ample time for this offense to work, because another point to make is Muri was the sole striker for this team. Always ready to set up, Voku as well, but mainly the savior. Now everybody's scoring, and that just builds the confidence of a team of strikers. I like maybe the counterattack from UAH if that extra pass is made, but instead it's another touch instead to the orange net. Shot from Magic, slightly wide. You think they want maybe a goal on the trot just to have something to take into the next game. A little bit of belief in themselves. 10 seconds, Magic at the ball. Voku, another block. He asks for the ball, he gets it. Muri leaves it for them. Bounce off the corner, touch up. Muri will go for the own goal and secures it. There you go. It's 1 and away.
Not quite the Brazil that, you know, everyone always looks for in the game, but still just asserting to the Chargers, the only way you're going to get on the scoreboard is if I hand deliver it to you. So the Patriots in a very dominant position. 6-1 in that game, 3-1 in the series, 11 shots. Voku, for all the times we saw him, dude is just Amazon same-day delivering opportunities wherever he can, and otherwise he's letting them work, and Muri with yet another 800-plus point game.
Yeah, this team is on fire. I mean, it feels like, you know, they went to round 1 of Nationals a couple times, and they got eliminated, and they said, if we're ever, 3 times, they said, if we ever come back, we will not end up in the same situation. We will put it all out on the field. And this team isn't just on fire. They have a plan. I mean, Voku has, as you said, delivered the chances to Always Ready, and especially Muri. And they're so clinical on offense, which, hey, Monkey Man, you mentioned, is some teams' best defense.
It really is. They've not allowed the Chargers to get involved. And if there's anything that you need to be involved, it's every single player on this squad. They were able to bring Magic into the fold. They improved marginally. Huge save by Low Key. You've got to run with that emotional adrenaline following that. They at least move it up this pitch. But the Chargers, every single round now, every single game is a championship to try and move on to the next.
I love that from Low Key, though. Putting your foot down, saying, no. I get it. You walked over us all that last game. It's not happening again. It's a wonderful save to send a message that it's not going to be as easy this time. But boy, oh boy, is it tough to stop this team.
Voku waiting on the back door. Nice challenge. He knew. He just waited for Muri. He's like, you know what? If you're going to find it from the opposite corner, ain't no one on this back end. Let me hit it. And that's just the solid turnabout of our narrative as well, where Muri's been scoring the most off of Voku style assists. He sends it right back to him.
It's a nice bouncer off the ramp there. Mr. Chicken Ball's got the boost, and Magic's trying to get the bump, but Boy, those Patriots are good at evading the bump plays. Ton of momentum on that touch from Reddy. Still Mr. Chicken Ball able to get the better touch. Voku up the wall and low key to take care of this, but kind of gets out of their control. You want a bit of a softer touch to get an air dribble or maybe a early reset to get it past the opponents. That time they're just doing a little bit more of a throwaway, a little bit of a hopeful effort to march up the field. But take a look at where this ball has been in the corner. Chargers having a hard time directing this ball to the net.
The way you describe that, it really speaks to patience with pace. Being able to go fast while controlling some level of slow. And someone told me way back in early days of Rocket League, slow is fast with Rocket League. Control will make you go so much quicker around an opponent that has none of it. Muri is trying to get behind it. See if he can be able to slam that one through. And then now a teammate wants to set up yet another one. He has to scream on by. Chargers have seen a lot more positive territory, but the Patriots have been kind of leaving these gaps open. Voku sees that one vacated, as it will be Muri that will fill it. Now he's got a chance to at least look at what's developed and didn't trust the process, but that's because Muri is now going to be stepping right back up to the plate. Patriots all over the Chargers yet again.
Yeah, they're not letting them out. Locked up in their half once again. Very little boost play from Chicken Ball. That's a wonderful save. Miss that ball. You're conceding another goal, and suddenly this series starts to slip away. Reddy wants exactly that to happen with their march upfield. Muri tries to catch it off the sidewall. That's a demolition on the line, but the shot's off target. Reddy tries to direct it back to the net, and with a backflip for the ages, manages to do so.
Demo by Always Ready, shot by Voku, and just a little off target. Well, let me be your correcting force, says Always Ready. Leaves the net, gives it a kiss, and shoves that one high. So, Patriots get up to 2-0. Chargers are looking for a way to exist. They have not scored their own goal in now nearly 2 games because the last one was an own goal by Muri at the end of regulation in game number 4. For the Patriots, this has just been tugging along the Chargers. They've got to find a way to break in, and it's so much easier said than done.
They're so disrupted on their chance to reset. Oh my goodness, what a double tap from Voku. Low-key has had some kind of insane saves throughout this game. Just add another to the tally at this point. But right now, this aggression from Patriots, that's the issue for the Chargers. How do you reset when you're playing against that?
It's very tough. You must be resilient. And another save.
Kidding.
They go in combination with one another. The Pyro, the defense is really showing up on either side of the pitch. That's not what you want as your defining factor if you're the Chargers. They've got Magic just trying to full send. This is being 50-50'd out. Everything pinballing around. And that 60-second mark is about to come up very loudly if you're the Chargers, especially with Voku slamming it home.
This felt like the 15th attempt at a trading pack double tap, but no, it's just Voku with less than full tank of boost to put it in. Effortless double tap for goal number 3 of Patriots. They're on their way to the finish line.
3 up. Chargers have not gotten a true goal for themselves in way too long. And they've got to somehow prove that they've got something left in the tank. Feels like the Magic hat has kind of let out all the pigeons and all the bunnies. And they've not really been able to find that same level of effort that got them at least 1 game in this series. Backboard play, trying to slam another one. You're talking about the training packs. I think Voku might be on the expert one.
Expert master. I don't know what's the next version. They are the senpai of the training packs. It's so much pressure for the Chargers. You saw them try to read that off the backboard, but again, they're being forced to a pace that they can't play clinically from. The read wasn't there, and immediately after, you've got the goal from UC Patriots. This isn't that kind of team that you raise an eyebrow as to how did they win their Central Division. This isn't that team that you underestimate and say, well, I'm not sure how they'll do in the Nationals. No, this is the team that you keep your eye on for every round thereafter. UC Patriots have a wonderful ride through round 1 of Nationals and are on their way to much, much more.
Gonna be a tough team to stop. It's gonna be one that won't be stopped tonight. 4-1 over the Chargers. They keep their perfect record over them from the last 2 years continuing, as they will add to the collection of history. The Patriots will take it. And I mean, you look into what they've been doing recently, and Murray has been a consistent force on this squad for literally 4 straight semesters. Adding in Voku, it's kind of perfect collection in a bottle. You could definitely like see how they were able to take it through Central. They went 4-0, 4-2, 4-2. Whoever's able to get 2 off of them, whoa, powerful in their own way. But Williamsburg, Kentucky got themselves a really good college squad in these guys, and they're going to be moving on to round number 2 with the momentum we were talking about.
It's the team chemistry that's the most exciting thing for me, because yeah, every one of these players can score in a great fashion. I think Murray and Voku bring an elevated level of mechanics to that stage, but their leaps into the air come right off the passes of their teammates. It's either that innate understanding of each other's play style to be able, and that reliability and trust to go for those pre-jump plays, or great communication, or a mix of the two. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter why. It just matters the what. And the what is that they're pulling off these fantastic plays that are going to be so difficult to defend for anyone that goes up against them in the Nationals. So exciting, fun team to watch. Definitely earned their route to the next stage. They finally got through round 1.
They corrected new history and continued favorable history by taking down UAH. And I like what we got at UAH. Felt like there was a lot of individualism that they can sew together. Lots of improvements that can still go forward with that foundation they have. But that's what we have for tonight. So as a recap, in D6, we were able to see Carroll take down Lander. They did that, I believe it was in 4-3 or 4-2. Actually, no, that was a sweep. That was a straight up sweep. So they got rid of the aggression out of Lander. It was game 7, though, in our D8 Nationals, as the Fuel were able to outlast and then ultimately dominate MVC. And then, of course, your D4 Nationals being 4-1 for Cumberland's. I want to thank everyone that was able to join us tonight. We actually had Chippy at the helm, putting our faces in your spaces. Tomorrow is going to be League of Legends as well as Overwatch on Friday. But you don't want to go too far, because we've actually got the Aurora series. The lower finals will be going on in just a few minutes. If you've never heard of that, that's Valorant. So a little bit of a shoot 'em up. So make sure that you guys continue to stick with us here with NECC and, of course, the Nationals and the Forge Trials as presented by the Army National Guard. But that's it for tonight. I am Hail Monkey Man. That is Pyro. Thank you so much for filling in tonight, my man. And, of course, for all of you that are able to join us, hope you enjoy even more as we take a short break. But for us, this is the end of the night. So you guys have a great one.
Forge Trials is presented by the Army National Guard.